Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is Writer's Block, Thursday at 8 p.m. We are joined by a couple of lovely guests. One of them is feeling a little, anyway, I couldn't think of a segue. Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Nice. Wow. Professional.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at this. I don't know if you could tell.
I can tell.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Hi,
good.
everyone. I'm Matthew from Abyssal Brews. We are a team of two that makes elegant magic items every week, as well as homebrew add-on content for D&D 5e. You can find us on pretty much all of our social medias at Abyssal Brews, and also we're over on Patreon. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. See, that's the most professional you're going to be for the rest of this show.
Yeah.
Everything else is downhill. Honey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes,
Matt
I
turned
would.
himself just a smidge up, please.
Yeah, I could turn him up just a smidgen. Honestly, when I said honey, could you introduce yourself? I thought Matt was gonna reintroduce himself. All right, baby, honey, darling.
Nice.
Oh, whoops, I'm turning Hal up, not Matt. There we go. There we go. Okay, introduce yourself, please.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, friends. I'm Hal. Over on Twitter, I am at Van Helsing Art, and on Instagram as well. I'm a fantasy and sci-fi illustrator. I do character art, commercial, and personal illustrations. Come check me out for lots of cool stuff, and you can join my Discord channel where we talk and learn about art.
Hell yeah. You guys sound so professional. It's gonna be a nightmare within an hour. Omnilicious, could you introduce yourself, brother?
Oh my god, you can't open up with that.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
can, and I just did.
Not in public, Red. We talked about this.
Oh, wait,
Has
hold on,
perfect
Derek.
place for it.
Derek, am I putting on or taking off the hat? You got to specify. That's why you have to put a message. So you got to
Oh no.
introduce
Oh,
yourself,
no.
all Derek. Yeah, introduce
So
yourself.
it begins.
Double hats. Okay, it is double
Double
hats.
hats.
Double
Okay.
hats.
Yes, everyone, I am the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American. I am also a bit of an illustrator, not quite as esteemed as our friend Van Hal, but at the same time, I also am a world builder, writer, tabletop creator. I am the sole creator of the Legacy tabletop role-playing game system universe project thing. 15 years in the making, and only 3 months in the making, I am the lead editor and publisher behind the Aegis Caltrop core game. So for those of you who are interested in playing that fun little spin-off from our last season of Writer's Block and seeing it eventually run on my streams, yeah, no, that has my thumbprints, fingerprints all over that. Sorry, I couldn't polish it off. I tried my best. And yeah, what about you, Red? What's cooking in your oven?
Well, I'm red. I'm one of the 3 primary colors. So I do this show on Wednesdays and Thursdays. That wasn't that funny. Why are you laughing?
I just wasn't expecting that.
You caught me off guard, that's all.
I think me and Red are in a weird arms race to create the most like disarming and strange openings more and more as the shows goes on.
I have more cold openings than CSI Miami. So and you live in Florida, Omni. So
Yeah, you're right. All my soggy and warm.
I do this show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. God, why'd you say that? And I have on new guests every single week. Matt and Alicia obviously are guests this week. Next week, it's going to be Derek from DMDM Studios. This is a show. Oh, yeah, my bad. We're canceled. Sorry. Well, see you next season. But we have Derek next week and Kendo. Kendo makes films. I'm very excited to have those two on. Honestly, I wish I had them on now, but I have to settle for these two. So,
That's totally fair. Kendo's way cooler than me.
I will remember that later. I hope you know.
well, you a fucking Telltale game now, or like?
Yeah, I was gonna say. How will remember this?
Your reputation meter just went down.
My reputation meter went down. How will remember this? So third hat
Coin
going
has
on.
unleashed triple hats upon you.
This is all like, oh well. From here on, Omni is gonna be the one putting on hats. So this is my last time.
God, I do have 2 hats, but one of them is a full-on helm. So get ready, folks.
Don't show me your helmet. So on this show, we do world we do world building, right? We do improvised world building. That's what we're supposed to do. We're 15 minutes in, and we
Apparently
haven't done anything.
comedy too.
Slime comedy, yeah. Hal disliked that, yeah, in brackets here. But yeah, so I'm not gonna do much time to introduce myself because you folks probably already know who I am and what I do, and if you don't, well, get your shit together. So we're gonna start the show. We're gonna start the show on that note. So we're gonna go around. Each of us have brought 3 words. Some of us brought 3 words. Some. And we're each gonna go around 1 word at a time. Look at that cool little book you have. What is that? Your little black book?
Yes, it is. It is my little black book filled with all my secrets, mostly lame, nerdy world building stuff, and also the occasional word set.
Oh, I thought that was your death note.
No, because if it would have worked by now.
That's true. My name's in there at least 7 times. So.
You can't blame a guy for trying.
Well, I mean, you can't kill me. It's that Irish in me, Get it? Yeah. Never mind. I don't want Neil to watch us and see me say something offensive about Irish people. I'll do it while he's on the show. One word at a time, around in a circle. So, Matt, what's your first word, brother?
Agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay. My word's atheist, so that's cool. What? No, I'm kidding. But what's your thought process behind coming up with the word agnostic?
Yeah. So I think agnosticism is kind of the mindset of questioning, and I think that when you're talking about world building and getting into a lot of the minutia of things, the best way to do that is to approach things by kind of like questioning and having a mindset where everything that you hear is a new question that you can form and then try to answer through your world building. So that's kind of where I got started with that.
Oh, okay, so just like highly philosophical, like
yeah, absolutely.
Right on, because we are in an age of what we sort of pseudo-established broad strokes here, is that we're in an age of reinvention of humanity, so humanism and like the turning of age. So like this is like a new sort of industrial renaissance, quote unquote. If you can combine industrialism and the Industrial Revolution with Renaissance, this would kind of be what it looks like.
An enlightened industrial age, I think.
I mean, the Industrial Revolution was sort of a Renaissance, just not for. Not for the betterment.
Not for human rights.
Yeah.
Not for environmental efforts. Not for workers' rights or really anything good. But
but like
made a lot of money.
Yeah, like 6 or 7 people made a lot of money. It worked out for them. So
hey, we got Sears.
We got Sears Macy's. Yeah,
that's like the least consolatory thing I've ever heard. We got Sears.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got cars. Yeah, that's great.
Those are cool.
Which are a leading cause of death in the United States.
Hasn't Sears completely gone out of business?
No, they're online.
No,
they're online.
They sold off almost all their stores though. Like they're now an online distributor for most.
Which is hilarious, as they could have absolutely been Amazon if they wanted to be. They had everything in place to be, and
they just chose not to. They let it all go.
That's why their empire fell apart, is because they just refused to stay.
Empire? Empire? Are you fucking? What is it? It's Sears Rome?
Sears.
Oh yeah, well, Sears fell when the pillaging of Constantinople took out their last shelves at their stores.
Primary department store in America for decades.
This has turned into
sold homes.
This sounds more like Fox News right now than it does like a writing show.
By the way, Red, +1 hat.
+1 hat? Who did +1?
+1 hat.
I'll put on a hat. Okay.
Yes.
See, this is
Sears out here like we expand or die. More anchor stores.
Sears is like at 2 Amazon. The fucking. Anyway, at least what's your first word?
Oh god, the sacking of the Mall of America.
Minnesota was never the same.
God damn it.
What's your first word?
In contrast to Matt's word, my word is seraphic.
Seraphic. Can you spell that for me? Because I'm fucking stupid. Oh, you're gonna type it for me. Thank you. Okay.
There we go. Seraphic.
Well, okay. Give us use that in a sentence, please.
Basically, it just means angelic or derivative of a seraph.
Oh.
So,
okay. So you're just flexing on me with a word that I don't understand. That's all right. I get it.
Yes. It's not my fault. You're dumb.
Well,
maybe it is. I don't know.
It might be. You did hit me in the head a few times last week, but like,
God, don't joke about that. My idea behind seraphic was with this discovery of lay. There's a lot of mixed opinions or just debate about where it comes from, who put it there, if it's a natural resource, or if it was brought by maybe another race or a cosmic entity or something, and it's starting a lot of debate, like amongst the general populace, maybe even like creating a religion to whatever cosmic entity lay there, etc., quote unquote.
So your your thought process essentially is just like seraphic in the sense of like I literally just had the word god damn it, I literally just had
Extraterrestrial.
well, not extraterrestrial, it was going to be the providence, divine providence, like it was the will of a god that something was sort of like put there. I live in Baptist country, so everybody believes in that shit. If somebody gets hit by a car, well, I guess God wanted them to get hit by a car. I shit you not. Some people actually think like that down here. It's crazy. The Bible Belt's wild, man.
It is.
I'm struggling with God wanted that.
God wanted you to get hit by a car. Yeah.
That's good.
God invented cars just so you could get hit by them like 100 years in the future.
Wow.
Essentially, the substance itself is... What's the word I'm looking for?
Is this word you're looking for your next word?
No. Basically, it's regarded as
Superliminal? Is that what you're trying to think of?
I think that might have been the word I was trying to think of. Superliminal.
I appreciate you coming prepared with more hats. I got you, Nathan. I got you. See, like I have all these hats ready to go. This is all.
So far, I've not had to wear a hat once.
Yeah. Plus, it starts bleeding over to me after we get that past the fourth one, though.
Yeah.
Put on all the. Anyway, Omni, what's your first one? Fucking hats.
The first word is +1 hat. No, the first word is actually I went with the word allies.
Allies.
So
That's an underline.
Yeah, like we tend to do a lot of soft world building at first, but I think like this can still be another one. I guess it's on me now.
Yeah, put a hat on. Put a hat on and keep talking.
Oh, damn it! Hold on, I'll go grab my 2 hat.
Keep talking.
Hold on a second.
No, he's gone. Okay, let's talk shit about him while he's gone. Omni's such a handsome gentleman. I love him.
Guess I got a third one I can wear too. Okay, getting the 40K hat on. So, yeah.
Oh, now the grognards will show up.
Work with my headset. All right. So, anyhow, yes, this is a Space Marine hat. I apologize, but I don't because I got it. So anyway, don't deal with it.
We were talking about like
Tau for years.
Yeah, no, we were talking about beta males before the show, so I guess this is appropriate. Go ahead. No, keep talking.
Oh no, is this what I think it's about to be? Make him put on another one? Oh god.
No.
So okay. Anyhow, the idea I had was that we tend to do a lot of soft world building at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
I think this is like mild world building. We don't necessarily need to talk about the specific nature, like specific nations, but broadly, like maybe figure out what alliances were during the Great War, or like broadly set out like categories or sides we can like blocks we can work around culturally. I think would be a good idea. I can't believe the hat is on cooldown. Yeah.
I had to put it on cooldown because I know you fucking maniacs would just like non-stop spam us with the hat command. God.
No, I technically have a third hat. So that's my
That's your
my
word.
allies.
Okay.
Right there.
So, my first word is garbage.
Okay. Got backup hat. So,
Garbage.
Uh-huh.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what this show would be without my wonderful guests.
Wow.
But mostly me. So...
I already hate it.
Well, you think of garbage, it's just like, well, you think of the Industrial Revolution, it's just like how much waste product was put out. You don't need to think of garbage as like, oh, I'm taking out the trash. It's just like garbage, more like waste products. I guess waste would have been a better word, but along the same lines, just like look at all these emissions and all this shit that's been fucking up the world for like 100, 200 years, But yeah, who you come garbage? What the fuck? You Scottish people, I don't understand you. It's reading chat. But
those are words.
Yeah, those are words. Who you count garbage? Sorry.
Calling? Who you calling
you
garbage?
Who you calling garbage? Is that what you're trying to say? I've never had to translate English into English before.
Don't feed the chat, Red. Don't feed the chat. We have too much to do.
Matt, what's your second word?
Perennial.
Perennial.
is my
Okay.
second one.
I think I noticed that.
So the thought there being that after coming out of an age of war, there's often this boom of repopulation that takes place, and the handing off of what kind of values that were present during a conflict to the generation below, and how they take those values and change them and pass them on forward. Thought being, kind of a generality of like what kind of values are people trying to pass on to their next generation.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because like we're getting awfully close to boomers. But
Yes, yes, we are.
Well, it's just like it's that thing. It's just like the values of the past generation are not going to be the same as the current generation.
No matter how much you try to hand off that, this is what we thought, right? Nobody ever takes that exactly. It's always that viewed through the lens of a new age. So
exactly, and especially considering the past ages have literally just been nothing but conflict and war and strife with the other countries, and now it's just like, oh, we're supposed to just be happy now. The current generation wants that, but the past generation is just like, how can we recover? How can we treat these people as our friends after they killed so many of our loved ones and like countrymen? But yeah, we've talked about that, like the philosophical side of that. But yeah, perennial is a good word. I like that word.
Woo.
Elise.
I'm gonna play off of Matt's word. My next word is retrograde.
Retrograde.
Ooh, I like that one. That was a good one.
I've heard that Mercury was in retrograde.
But
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I can't.
No, that's fine. I'll just never invite you back to the show.
That's fair.
I'm kidding, of course. Or
The Mercator is in Gatorade.
Oh, that's Floridian astronomy.
Well, I mean, I guess you're technically right.
I'm always right, baby. All right. At least, what's your reasoning behind retrograde?
well, like we were just discussing, this whole new era is a culture shock to most people, especially older adults who are used to the war, used to doing things a certain way, and there's a lot of people being very counterproductive to this new movement to go into the future, to change the world, and they're holding society back, so to say, because they don't want to change, they don't want to improve, they don't want to adapt to this new technology and this new way of thinking. And also on top of that is another layer of several decades of generational trauma from centuries-long war.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's that classic thing. It's just like there's the what do they call the World War II generation? The last great generation? Is that what they were called? I think that's what they were called.
Sounds right.
But like, and then after that, yeah, the greatest generation. But it's just like, why were they the greatest generation? They're literally just like throwing their lives away for their country for something that didn't even involve them to begin with. And then Japan attacked Hawaii, and it's just like, oh well, yeah, now we're involved. It's just like this great generation, quote unquote, came out of the. Were they called the Great Generation because of the Great Depression? I don't know, actually. I don't.
Great generation because they fought in World War II.
Oh yeah, they're the Great Generation because they threw their lives away for Europe. Go Europe. But well, yeah, but like
this Veterans Day, we're going to have ourselves a lovely dedication to the Veterans Day.
I don't celebrate Veterans Day.
Anyway,
but no, I mean no disrespect. The point being made is like, yeah, retrograde, like the ways of thinking are just sort of going away, because like there is this giant. What we've established is there is an imperialist age, or an imperialist and mercantile. The whole idea of like being so proud of your country that you'll be willing to go and die for them, make money for them, because I mean you're gonna get rich yourself. You might as well give a little bit of that to the country, so you'll be a super patriot. But Well, I mean, because mercantilism is where capitalism comes from.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like, what if we get rid of the government part and then make our own money and never pay our taxes? Wow. So, isn't that a crazy thought? But no, yeah, and you're at this new age. It's sort of like, let's be more communal. Let's treat each other like brothers and sisters, because like that's what we were supposed to do in the first place as humans. And there's probably talking about seraphic, the whole idea, just like there's some sort of divine meaning behind this new resource being discovered that ended the war. So like, what's the meaning behind that? Anyway, I'm getting way too far into the world building side of this. We haven't even selected the word.
I love it.
Well, I think out loud too much. But Omni, what is your next word?
Next word for me is vendetta.
Oh boy.
I love the ideas of like studying who might still be a little bit miffed after the war. Who's carrying the chip on their shoulder, whether that be cultural or whether it be local, national, international, whether it be something even outside of nation states and citizens. Maybe there's companies or corporate entities that competition got super fierce, and now after in the post-war setting, they're still kind of like I remember you fucked me during the war. Well, I'm here to dunk all over your profits this quarter. And, like something like that. There's always that kind of rivalry. And I want to see...
You fucked me during the war and then left the light on and left in the morning without saying anything.
Yeah, exactly. You left me this stupid bedside note written on a napkin with a phone number that doesn't go to the right place.
It just says 911.
Yeah, no. That's kind of the idea, though. Like, I want to know more about the... again, a moderate or mild world building here. Broadly speaking, who are the folks that are still carrying grudges, even if they're enlightened grudges in this post-war society?
Okay, I like your way of thinking behind that. And then at the other Matt, or at least if you have like thoughts on the word itself, feel free to speak. I'm talking a lot, I've noticed, but don't you start
I know
laughing.
my place. I'm not going to get invited back already, so I'm just checking out.
Yeah, I mean, you say you settled for me, so.
Well,
no, it's interesting, right? Vendettas after a war. There's this. There are always winners and losers, whether you feel like things were ended peacefully or treaties were signed, so on and so forth. So envy inevitably works its way in, and the people who feel that they were the losers in it, it's hard for them to be like, well, now you can't retaliate because we're now at peace. Everything's kind of done. Everyone's expecting you to move forward. But you have that kind of, interior feeling that like, well, I was wronged and I never got my chance to, see that through. I never got my chance to test myself on whether that was, going to be right or wrong. We never had our formal disagreement, whether it be at arms or so on. So because of that feeling of maybe having the conflict that you desired pulled away from you can absolutely cause these feelings of I guess envy is a good word for it. That's kind of where I'd hit.
Yeah. And like when you said vendetta, the first thing I thought of was V for Vendetta, and I'm just like, Omni, where the fuck are you going with this? This better not be some like satire-esque shit.
Remember the 5th of November.
Oh lord.
Have I ever...
Isn't that an Earth, Wind, and Fire song?
Satire?
I hate you. Anyway.
Well, I'm like our past world was satire.
I mean, yeah, but there's a difference between like dark satire and like her satire. Where I never drop the her.
Well, like narrative satire is what we do.
No, that's entirely fair. No, I don't. I'm not bringing no satire here. This is entirely noble, bright setting. I am coming out of this guns ablazing.
Well, you can have satire. There's nothing wrong with that. My next word is going to be echelon.
Ooh, that's a $5 word right there.
Echelon. I'm gonna read you the Merriam-Webster definition. Echelon refers to a level in an organization or to a group of individuals at a particular level in an organization. So it's just like whenever you hear people like, oh, they're from a higher echelon, it's just like they're from a higher, it's sort of like saying it's like they're from a higher class or they're from a higher position than you. So like and I feel like there's going to be a lot of that post-war, and there's a lot of that just like in the war. It's just like, well, you don't really have a say in things because, you're just, you're of a lower level. So And I think that's gonna create a lot of conflict in this world, right? The whole idea of just like, oh, we're trying to be focused upon the idea of like being equals, but people just can't get past that to the point where we're just like, well, I was a general in the war, so I deserve to be paid for my troubles and my services and blah blah blah. But now they're spending more money trying to repair infrastructure, and I'm not getting what I feel is owed. So it's just like I'm not in
Yeah.
that government echelon. I'm in the military, and I'm in the higher echelon of the military, but that doesn't matter compared to the government, which is all the way up here. So
Mhm. It can create the feeling of like a tiered system where
yeah,
technically none exists, right? It's another take on glass ceilings, right? Technically nothing stops you from rising up, but there are absolutely things in your way. There are blockers, and many of them could be intentional. So yeah.
That yeah, I would find that very interesting if there was like a soft caste system or a systemic structure
it's
to
probably
society.
an unspoken. Well, I mean, like we're doing a bunch of individual countries, so this could be like one part of
Mhm.
like a system. But like it's without going too far down a rabbit hole, it's sort of like communism. It's just like everybody's supposed to be equals, but there is still that unspoken. There's that
I could
unspoken
absolutely
caste.
see, kind of the former, what you were during the war also kind of could inform some of that. Now maybe the next generation is feeling those things a little differently, but like, kind of a sins of your father thing. Like what your parents were in that time. That could be um, kind of more enforced in the next generation coming up, to where they weren't necessarily always involved in it, but they end up feeling the ramifications of those kind of tiers that were out there.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's a lot of that in the society we live in today. Just the whole idea of just like we are feeling the repercussions of our forefathers and our predecessors, and that's definitely going to happen in this world. And I can also imagine the former generation is struggling because they were soldiers, the professional soldiers and stuff like that, and they're military. But there's not really a need for military right now other than defense. So like they're probably going penniless, they're probably going hungry and stuff like that. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
reparations that need to be made.
and they also probably don't have any professional skills or training to perform, public service jobs or public work
Yeah, they just
because they were soldiers.
and thus ushers in that whole new idea of skilled labor, and that
Unless
would
you
be
were,
troublesome.
yeah, unless you were lucky, quote unquote, lucky enough to be something like a mechanic or a medic
Yeah,
to have applicable world skills.
all mechanics and medics are definitely gonna have jobs after the war. Foot
Mhm.
soldier, no. You might be part of a militia or a police force. That's about it. But Matt, what's your final word?
My final word is discipline, mostly
Oh,
because there are two ways to take this word, and I think both are relevant. Discipline being the kind of military ideal of following orders, doing as you're told, and what happens to somebody after they come out of that environment and they no longer have that disciplinary structure. But also, I think discipline from a perspective of the kind of archetypes that you can involve yourself in. So, like, a craftsman's discipline, the type of places that you find yourself after a war. Are there vocational schools that can help teach you a new craft or something like that? But then coming along with that, the kind of regimented structure and how that gets involved with a society that no longer has a need for the commands that once were there.
yeah, I like your train of that because discipline seems like a very narrow word, mostly because like most longer words are usually narrow, but discipline's so
Yeah.
wide. It's such a wide net. It's just like you need to be disciplined, or like I have a discipline, or like there's a
Mhm.
monistic discipline, and I know I can learn this. It's such a broad
And
word.
then there's also like the type of punishment, right, to
Yeah.
discipline somebody. Like that can be. It's a very broad word. It feels very fun to play around in because
Hmm.
of how much you can infer from it. But yeah,
Yeah, and
it's great.
it's also a pretty, depending on how you look at it, it's like an antagonistic sort of
It can be.
synonym for learn or like to
Yeah,
teach. So
absolutely.
good word, good word. Um, Elise, what's your final word?
I also have a broad word with multiple meanings. It is enterprise.
Ah, that's a good one.
So I was thinking of actually like three different directions, this two and a half. this could be taken. Enterprise in the sense of, we were talking about like mercantilism and like a company enterprise, and
Rental cars.
yes, enterprise. That's exactly how you read my mind, Matthew.
Wasn't expecting that. Oh god.
I'm sorry.
Rent
Please
a
continue,
car. That's probably a thing though. Like on that note. Anyway, continue, please.
And this rise of mercantilism shifting into capitalism, or on the other hand, enterprise is also synonymous with, oh my, very,
Okay.
That'll have to do.
So it begins.
Yeah. I wasn't kidding when I said I have a headdress.
No, you got it.
And-
Good posture.
enterprise also meaning adventure. People aren't limited so much by the constraints of, you know, nationality lines, where you can and cannot go because of the war. People are, you know, leaving their countries, experiencing other cultures, and or doing things like seeking the source of lay. You good there, Omni?
He's got to put on another
I
hat.
think I will be. I have my final hat. This is my final hat, so hang on.
This is your final
Let's see
form.
if I can still hear everyone doing this. Okay, so I'm going to put on the helmet.
And then the hat. There you go. One more. Where is it?
Give me some words, folks, so I can make sure I'm still hearing you.
Words.
Something.
Banana.
Yeah, I
Banana.
can hear you.
Banana.
Banana.
Jack my volume.
That's how.
Monkey.
I just need to throw that in there sometimes.
Oh, I'm just having a
there it
bad
is.
time. I think I actually might have one more hat,
I
but
had to put on beforehand.
regardless.
Let's see if I can do this.
Oh,
I feel so bad for your head.
no, it's
It's
fine.
terrible for my head. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna do
It's
this.
it's like how they stack books on top of monks' heads to
These
make sure they have good
glasses go on.
posture.
This has to go on over the glasses. If it'll even fit, which is a big question mark. Close enough.
Derek said now we'll begin
Hold on.
photoshopping pictures of
No,
hats
that's
on
good.
the how.
And then hat on top.
You look wonderful.
This will last for maybe a minute before I have to physically take it off. So there we go.
Oh, don't worry. The next hat, I'm gonna cheat and put on glasses.
Thank you, much obliged.
So, where were we?
I don't
Enterprise.
know.
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
This is an enterprise of hats.
Yeah, the idea. I think Hal was speaking on like the ideas of mercantilism and how that can play into that. Yeah, I think that enterprise can be. Yeah, it can be kind of this idea of like, you know, broad business and things of that nature, but it can also, you know, be, you know, a descriptor for an individual that they are enterprising, that they are somebody who, you know, has a type of savvy to them. And perhaps there are businesses after this, or, you know, more broadly, individuals that are pursuing enterprising means that have maybe somewhat made themselves celebrities. We've seen that kind of thing in, you know, even our current world, right? You know, with the weird like hero worship that some people have for people like Elon Musk, right? You know, an individual that comes up through business and people almost view them as some sort of celebrity due to their you know, business rather than any sort of, you know, like popularity that they would have otherwise.
Yeah, in the days of old, we sort of like despised titans of industry because, like, you know, okay, this is the next hat.
My secondary meaning was also adventure, because now that the
Oh,
war is over, people aren't limited to places where they can and cannot go from, you know, like this country. Citizens of this country are banned from going to this country because they are engaged in combat. They are mortal enemies, and that has been dissolved.
Well, yeah,
Now
and
there's open travel and
Yeah.
you know, the things that can come along with that. I think that is definitely an interesting second meaning for that too. I like that.
And the Merriam-Webster dictionary has 3 different definitions of enterprise. There's a project or undertaking that is especially difficult, complicated, or risky. 2 as an A and B, a unit of economic organization or activity, or B, a systematic, purposeful activity, or 3, readiness to engage in daring or difficult action. So enterprise can also mean it can be synonymous with initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, are we rolling?
roll your enterprise.
All right, cool. They'll pick you up.
Oh my
God-
god, I
God
completely
damn
forgot
it.
that was a rental place. Jesus.
Oh, Lord.
Uh,
See, that would be a good deal. See, WotC's doing all these weird fucking crossovers. There you go. That's a crossover.
There
for
it
you.
is.
Roll your enterprise.
I love that.
That's horrible. Anyway, Omni, what's your
It'll
last
be an
word?
NFT.
No!
Oh,
The forbidden three
okay, well,
letters.
the words. I can't even react the way I want to because if I move my head more than 2 degrees over the first 5 minutes, it will come off and break something.
You look great.
So it's my word now, I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Like a Team Fortress 2
rotate my
character.
head slowly on my chair. Rotate back. Okay. City was my final word. Also, this will not last. This will go on for 2 minutes before my spine implodes. So we're not doing it. This thing is like solid clay. So yeah, no, I'm holding like 25 pounds.
Don't worry, I redeemed one. I have infinite points. I can do that.
Oh, thank
I
God.
can fight
Thank
back
you.
against my own audience.
I actually love this helm. I made this for a Destiny cosplay. I never quite got around to it.
That's cool.
But one day, I'm totally gonna maybe appear on stream and cosplay, especially for Destiny. So we'll see.
So, did you say your word was a state or state?
Say what?
Well, what was your word?
Cities.
Cities.
Cities? Where the fuck did I get state from?
I don't know.
I heard something similar, so
I don't know.
See, this is what we were talking about before we started. Omni and I just, we got that.
You do.
that
You do.
Right?
got that
Different
chemistry.
Right?
Let's get
Give me a
it
second. I'm
on.
trying to not make myself look like Keanu Reeves.
You do look
And
like
also
Keanu
able to
Reeves
see
right now.
What you guys are saying and typing.
Whoa.
So,
Wake
hold
the
on.
fuck up, samurai. We got a city to burn.
Glasses, hat, backwards hat.
You're so
Oh, God.
90s,
I
so
feel
hip.
like I'm
Now you look like Keanu on a day off. Like,
I do. Okay, and there we go. And now Keanu.
You look like the 80s kid from like a Nintendo Power. You know?
All I need is the glove, and I'd be set. God. So, yeah, no, cities. So my idea behind it was again moderate world building. I would like the idea of like aspirationally going like, okay, we have some broad ideas about this place. Let's start picking locations, even if it's just finding names for them
No.
to work off in the future.
No.
So deal with it.
No.
I will drag you kicking and screaming over this.
I have to
even
do
if
another
it's-
show at midnight where we do the hard world building. Don't make me do it here.
Okay. You get to do that. I don't get to do that.
Oh, poor me.
So I'm gonna do a little of my hard work in here. You can deal with it. So anyway, clearly we're in maximum like maturity level tonight, guys. Obviously,
apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
100%. Like that is the goal. So
Yeah, it was really cool because, like, whenever, Red asked me to come on, he was like, hey, why don't you come on? I'll argue like a 12-year-old with my co-host. It'll be awesome,
Yeah, that was one of the
So
things.
honestly.
I did give you, I did give you that preface.
Yeah.
But yeah, so generally cities, like even if we're not going to go in like specifics, I would like to think about like the scale of this civilization. Are we dealing with like cities, full-on states, like nations, and how important are cities? How big are we talking? Like basics. Let's touch on some basics.
Yeah, absolutely. And my last word is being cultivated right now.
Ah,
What you do?
Yeah, no, it's I'm thinking really hard about it.
is it cultivation?
Cultivation would be a good word, but
Right? You said it, and I'm like,
that
because that's a good word.
is a good word.
Because it can mean, cultivating a society. It could mean actual cultivation of goods and.
I'm
citizens.
I'm so glad I came up with that word. Well, yeah, let's go with
Yeah,
cultivate.
really good job.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thanks, chat. That was great. Well done.
Thank you,
Well done.
chat. You let me
You're
down once
consistent.
again.
Good job.
The perfect reflecting mirror for our ideas. You don't even need to move. Just be transparent.
Chat, I want you to come to my funeral
guys.
and carry my casket so you can let me down one more time. Anyway, yeah, cultivate is a really good word for the exact reasons Matt said. You can cultivate. The first thing I think of is like nature, right? So you're like sort of like fixing up a place to be cultivated for, a forest, for farming, cultivate a society. I don't know. Cultivate is just a big word. It's a big word. It's a cool green card, Magic the Gathering. It's 2 and a green for a sorcery.
I was
Search
gonna
your
say.
search your library for
I
a basic.
avoided you people for so many years, you magic people.
You magic people.
I'm so sorry that you are trapped among us now.
Among Us? Okay, no, so this is an Among Us stream now.
Nick, if you didn't say it, I was
Sounding
going
kind of
to.
sus.
Sounding kind of sussy, baka.
Oh god,
What the-
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
That's what Hank from Breaking Bad said. He's like, never mind. I'm not going forward with this. So it's a meme.
He's referencing a meme, like the troglodyte he is.
What the fuck? Troglodyte would have been a good word.
How does that relate to his
That would have
word?
been a terrible word. We could have gotten like 2 seconds into that and been like, we're just gonna apply it.
No, it's fine. You're just not creative like me. I am, Omni. So
You're right. No, I'm always scratching the bottom of my creativity barrel.
yeah. You're kind of a hack. So let's each of us pick 2 words from the list. They can be your own. I won't judge you. And they could be somebody else's, especially if you already have like a train of thought running on that. Running a train on a thought. So
Stop.
oh,
This-
I just
wow, that did not come out the way I even remotely thought it would.
Nope.
So
I'm
Matt,
gonna stop you right there, partner. Anyway,
it's like that JonTron, just like stop.
And this is why I play the decisive dad who doesn't have fun on this stream, because 80% of the time I have to be the dude leaning on the handbrake even though Red's on the gas.
Well, yeah, all gas, no brakes.
no breaks,
All
baby.
gas, no brakes. Let's go. I love that show.
Oh man, I miss that shit.
I
so
do
much.
too. Oh man, it's so sad. that
He's
happened.
apparently he's in process on something new. So
Yeah, I
let's
saw
hope.
that. He did
That's fair.
Channel 5. Yeah, it's called Channel 5 now. Somebody bought his
Channel 5.
somebody bought his shit out in Channel 5 or Channel 5.
You know,
Yo, a Channel 5 video
Channel
came out today? Okay, that's what we're doing after the stream. So each of us are going to pick 2 words from this. We're going to cultivate our words. Then we're going to go from there and then do world building stuff.
God,
so
you're a dork.
I love that.
This is what I have to deal with all the time.
I don't think I've ever been called dork in such an aggressive manner since like elementary school. Holy shit. Oh, crippled. I'm just falling. I'm falling apart now.
Hemorrhaging, positively hemorrhaging.
I'm hemorrhaging.
Absolutely wrecked.
Absolutely ravaged. Let's pick 2 words, each of
I
us,
can't believe
please.
he's done this.
I will underline these words that we choose. So go,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Are we doing like one and going around, or are we like?
No,
just
just
picking
pick
two
them
at
as
a
you go.
time?
Pick
Do it
them as
all.
you go. Do it all at once.
Who's up?
You,
Anyone?
since you're talking.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you go.
I'm gonna choose perennial.
Isn't that a flower?
And
A perennial can be a type of flower.
I thought it. Yeah, I thought it was a type of flower.
Yes,
let me see.
I'm so smart.
you are. That's why you have so many hats, because your brain's so big.
Yep, I need to keep. I'm like Kiadi Mundi from Star Wars. The guy with the cone head. That's me.
Oh my
I'm
god.
also gonna choose cities because of like a little bit of like concreteness to the world. I think that would be good.
Oh, concrete in the city. Oh, that's a nice little segue. I like that.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa!
Damn.
Okay.
This is why you don't.
The aggression. I love it. I'm here for it.
Those are
Oh,
my 2 words.
Nice.
shut the
like
fuck up is 4 words. Anyway, who's next? Nobody laughed. That was the worst.
We weren't
Our-
giving
our
you the
best way-
joy of it.
Our best way to punish you was to deny you the laugh.
Oh, I'm funny. Laugh at me.
We love
It's
you,
the only way I derive joy from my pathetic existence. My only value is the humor that I bring.
I
Go.
live for the memes. The memes live for me.
Who am I if I'm not funny?
Alas, I knew him, Horatio.
Oh my god.
But Doc, I am Pagliacci.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I was just about to reference that.
Jesus. All right, next person. What's your
All
words?
right, I'm going because me.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm taking cultivate, and I'm going to take one of my own words, discipline.
Okay, well, I mean,
Nice.
that's a little narcissistic to take one of your own words, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I
fine.
don't
Yeah,
care.
no,
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, do it. Go for it. Yeah.
I was, you said because me, my first thought was like, oh, it's meat from Abyssal Brews. Hello, meat.
I'm still trying to talk Matt into changing it into Abysmal Brews. for
Abyssal
April Fool's-
Brews? That'd be
for
a
April
really
Fool's.
good April Fool's prank.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It was like make like an alternate, like terrible version of some of our items, you know.
That's so good though. I'm gonna change my
Yeah.
name to @VA Bluemption. See how many people get pissed off when I do that. I'm gonna make my
Wow.
profile
so
blue.
funny.
I'm
You're
so. Why do you
so
never
funny.
support my
Bluemption?
jokes?
Like, so how many
Bluemption?
E's are going to be in a row in that?
2.
Beat. Oh, okay.
Bl-
That's really dumb.
So I'm going to go next before this hate train continues to ramp.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Folks, if you like what you're hearing, consider following, and if you
Subscribing for more childish handles.
bit of a posture check, don't worry,
Like,
Ami and I have
follow,
good
and
posture.
subscribe.
Hydration.
Smash that subscribe.
Smash
button.
that like button. Fuck that bell. I want you to know whenever I'm live.
Oh my god, I've never quite heard it said like that, Red. But, you know,
But yeah, if you guys have a little extra scratch, consider subscribing. It helps me. Just me.
Yeah.
Fuck the rest of the show. It's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah, he's
guys.
not getting paid.
I'm not getting paid for this. If you got paid for this, I'd have issues.
Well, I got news for you. Anyway, what are you two?
So I'm gonna choose allies, and I'm also gonna
Oh.
choose. I really like agnostic. I think that's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be
And
fun.
I'm gonna go grab myself water for my hydration check because I don't have any right now. So thank you for the check.
Absolutely
That's my word,
unbelievable.
Brad. I'm sure your words will be disappointing. I'll be back to see them.
Oh,
I
okay.
love you, buddy.
Great.
It's great.
Why is this guy my co-host? Let's see. Who the fuck is this guy? He just came in one day. Like,
Right. You keep inviting him back.
no, I'm not even inviting him. He just shows up. He's like that drunk uncle
Okay.
that shows up to the functions.
Drunkle.
Drunkle. Isn't that the name of that character from Gravity Falls?
I have no idea what Gravity Falls is. So please
Drunkle.
continue.
Drunkle Stan.
It's Grunkle Stan, you heathen.
Oh, look at me. I'm an adult and I watch cartoons.
Yeah, you are an adult that watches cartoons.
Will just said the roast of Redemption V. I would love for people to roast me. That'd be so fucking fun. But Twitter would get way too toxic with it. They'd be like, well, he's a cis white male. I'm just like, well, that's not a roast. You're just identifying me. Like, you know.
That
but,
came
like,
into something interesting, whatever it was.
we were talking about fascist Germany. My 2 words are going to be, on that note, garbage. And
Oh, I'm picking your own word again. Huh?
well, well, it wasn't my word. It was, some guy that spoke English came up with it like a couple thousand years ago. So
It's a little okay, whatever.
yeah, no, it's fine. And on that note, I'm gonna pick another one of my own words. No, I'm kidding. I want to see enterprise. I like enterprise.
They'll pick you up. It's gonna happen every time.
Every single time. Yeah, no, that won't get old. Just like the jokes that I make over and over again, they never get old either. Okay,
Yikes.
so we got our words narrowed down.
We didn't
here.
take Seraphic. How terrible.
Seraphic. Oh, well, it's
It just means that it's going to end up showing up on ship off the block.
which it.
You know,
Wow,
maybe.
that. See, there's a lot of lies that have been told on this show. That is one
That's
of
the
them.
biggest. That is definitely the biggest one.
We never do any world building on Chip Off the Block. We just shoot the shit. I don't even know why it has anything to do with
this
this show.
season only. Like season 1, we actually did for at least the first like 3 quarters. Really,
You're
good.
right.
We always did world
The-
building.
the
And then
fame's-
season 2, we just were like, nah, we got this.
The
Y'all
fame's
are
gotten to me, you know. Like I just, you know.
Yeah, you sold out.
Yeah,
You know?
I put on like 400 pounds. I came here. I'm high before every session. I'm not actually.
I've got that sick Raid Shadow Legends and Gamers
Yep.
sponsorship.
Hell yeah!
really
I actually
like
did
that.
shoot a message to a potential sponsor, so that might be a thing. That's a
It's
little.
just
That's a
wearing
little.
G Fuel shirt
Wearing
every
it.
time. It's rhinestone G Fuel.
One of my
Like,
hats is going to be
getting
sponsored.
fuel.
No, one of my hats will be sponsored by NordVPN. It'll be great.
Yeah, if you're not plugging Surfshark or Squarespace, you're not shit. Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah,
you're
download
right.
Honey.
Download Honey. Yeah.
Honey's the good one. Honey. Are we really talking about Lexington anyway?
Talk about enterprising. Anyway, so from here we're going to sort of pick. What we've kind of been doing is our guests like pick 2 words, slam them together, and then we go from there. Sort of like mash 2 words together and see like what sort of processes of thought we'll get from it. Does Matt have a hat? Matt, do you have a hat to put on?
No.
Well, Omni,
Maybe.
maybe.
Please, this thing is so heavy.
As you
I
can see,
will wear
folks,
this.
my guests are prepared.
Yes.
Somebody get me a PNG of a hat so I can put it on at least. There. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Hell yeah, we got a hat. Let's go.
There we go.
Somebody send me a PNG so I can put one on Elise.
I got you. I got you.
So okay,
I'm just way too into Hamilton, so
Aham.
that's what you get.
my man, Alexander Hamilton.
Yes.
King George is my
That's
favorite.
clearly the one that we're talking about.
Yeah, the president.
Yeah.
I can't say that with a straight face. Yeah,
Yes, the president.
the famous president, Alexander Clamilton. That's a Magic the Gathering card. Look it up.
This is slowly devolving even further, and I love it.
It's amazing. So let's combine 2 words. Guests. Each of you pick 1 word, and we'll combine them together, for better or for worse.
Oh,
Go,
God.
Elise.
Here you go. There's a hat PNG, hun.
Thank you.
I got a second one as well.
Fucking shit. I need to hold on. Cam's gonna be messed up for a sec. You'll have to deal with it, audience. It's worth it, I promise. Elise's cam is perfect, as you can tell. Let's see.
My mouth doesn't even move.
Hat.
There.
Yeah, you move silent like the G in lasagna.
Oh.
Okay.
Lasagna.
Lasagna? Okay, don't worry. We did we did put a hat on Hal. We are good. Okay.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
You look great, hon.
It's
Matt can't even formulate a sentence anymore.
it's just so like
It
well,
works.
I declare.
I do declare. Good lord.
Hal, pick the first word now. I'll
Go.
So we're picking one from the ones we've already picked. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, from the underlined ones.
Okay. I'm gonna pick my own word. I'm gonna pick enterprise.
Hack.
Okay.
Let's see here. Hack.
Well, nobody picked seraphic, so I'm just gonna pick my own word.
Oh, okay. Nobody picked your other word, so.
Okay, so we have enterprise, and what's the other one gonna be, buddy?
I think we're gonna take cultivate to go with that. I think that's a good combo.
Oh.
Like that.
Enterprise and cultivate. Let me punch that down. There we go. Okay, so enterprise and cultivate. Those are words that kind of go together, in a way. So,
Somewhat.
they're affiliated, I suppose. Just like me on Twitch, folks. You can subscribe right now if you like what you
Oh
say.
my god.
Stop, please.
Segways. That's what it's all about.
Segu.
Segu. Segu. I speak French.
French.
French. Yeah, we on. Anyway.
Where
Yeah.
are we going with this?
Yeah, so we picked words. Now what do we do?
Okay, now we world build off them. Literally just imagine having ideas.
In a world.
In a
Yes.
world where
In a
enterprise
world
and
where
cultivate are
creativity-
words that go together.
Okay, so enterprise, cultivate, are there now that during a war there's a lot of destruction of environment.
Sure.
Ultimately, war is dirty, it's messy, it causes cataclysmic level, environmental destruction. So
Yeah.
if so, after this has done, are there people who are, maybe building up enterprises or, building up these kind of new economies out of trying to repair environmental damage that has been caused from the war? And what does that look like? Are they building parks? Are they building recreational centers? what does that look like? Are there people getting rich off of trying to, reinvigorate an environment that was destroyed, and how does that work?
I like your way of thinking though, because the immediate thing that comes to mind is like this is sort of a I want to say like World War One-esque time period. With it's not quite World War One, but the idea is like they had planes, they had tanks, they had bombs. So yeah, it's going to be very, very messy. So the first thing I think of is just like places like the Alsace-Lorraine, just being absolutely totaled, and people are trying to figure out a way to sort of recover it, because the Alsace-Lorraine after World War One was just a bunch of dead trees and mud. Like it was really bad. It got bombed to hell. So
Yep.
And like I'm sure there is like in this setting, like I said, we're broad world building. There's places like that in this setting that are just like, oh, these are places that were heavily fought over. We don't really know why, mostly because it was like, I'll say Lorraine's the border between Britain and France, isn't it? Or am I don't quite remember. I'm not quite good at geography.
That would be the English Channel.
That would be well the English. The English Channel is on YouTube, and YouTube wasn't invented yet. YouTube wasn't invented until 2006. What does the Alsace-Lorraine separate?
Nick out here pretending that Britain isn't completely separate from the rest of Europe, geographically speaking.
Well, no, but like, what is the Alsace-Lorraine separate? Is it Germany and France? What are they? What is separated?
Yeah, it's the southwestern edge of France in Germany.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of places like that. And yeah, I like your idea of like these companies being like, we're gonna fix the land. It's just like, how we're gonna do that? We don't know, but we'll get our shit together.
But we're going to definitely take government grants in order to do so, and do a lot of research into rebuilding of, environments while we don't understand exactly how they operate, and might do some more damage in doing so. But I could imagine, initiatives where people are maybe seeking government grants with like promises that in 5 years we can have this whole area back into a forest, and have it ready for new arrivals of people who want to live out in this area, like that kind of thing, right? Like, so promises of advancement and promises of rejuvenation of the world in the short term. Can that be achieved or not? Maybe it can be in a world like this, but I think those promises getting made are definitely something that could be fun to explore.
That sounds really money laundering-esque. So I feel like that would be really interesting for that, because that would probably create organized crime in that sense.
What about things like crop sharing?
Yeah.
Oh, like sharecropping?
Same thing. Yes.
Yeah, like Squarespacing. By the way, no.
By the way, we're sponsored by Square. No, I'm not. Squarespace though, if you do need it. I mean, I know you're like busy, but
like the government, or maybe large business owners are renting out plots of land for people to cultivate, either with crops or with forestry.
That's really interesting, right? Like they'll give you a grant for like a land grant, and whatever you grow on that, like a portion of it has to go back into maybe like government needs, whatever that might be,
or like the community or something. Like it has to feed like a certain number of people in order to continue getting funding.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea to me. Sorry, I took a hat off, quote unquote. These are my glasses. But it's hard to see sometimes. Also makes my eyes look beady. But so yeah, like the idea of sharecropping, like obviously, because I'm used to building really dark and fucked up settings. First thing I think of is just like, well, this is normal bright, but like just because it's normal bright doesn't mean everything needs to be great about it, right? Because like this whole land is ravaged by war, and then there's probably like the sharecroppers like we're talking about. They're like, oh, we're gonna sell you this land. It's fertile. It's great. You can grow whatever the hell you want on it. Corn. More corn.
I love that. That's where you're like, you can grow whatever the hell you want on corn.
Well, I mean, like corn, wheat, barley.
No, hear me out. We make it.
Let's get crazy. Hay.
Hay is wheat.
We grow exclusively corn. We combine it with the ley and make cosmic ethanol.
Oh my God.
See, now you're thinking with portals. Like I see that's some good shit. See, that reminds me of that's actually a Dungeons and Dragons What the fuck? Darkest Dungeon. I don't know why it's a Dungeons and Dragons. Sponsor me. I don't play D&D. I don't play D&D. I don't. Fuck you, Watsy. Don't sponsor me. Darkest Dungeon has this sort of expansion that's like
I love
this.
you, Watsy.
this-
Sponsor us.
I play a lot of Magic, please. Subtle. Thank you, Kev. And no longer subtle. What was I saying? There's like this sort of like corrupted farmstead, like something from the stars came down and messed it up. But like obviously we don't need to do like something so cosmic, so like psychological. It could be something more simple. It's just like, oh yeah, there's a ley line that runs through this farmland. So even if it looks like mud and like slick, you can just grow stuff here. You know? So it's just like we're the ley line farmers and we grow super corn.
Oh my god, you could absolutely see like, you know, the radio ads and things for that though, could you not?
Yeah, just like
100%. Super corn. It has everything you need to eat. Everything. Everything entirely. You don't need to eat anymore. You won't be eating for months. You won't be eating for months. You're gonna need to go to the hospital because you can't eat for months. And I just made that way darker than I needed to.
Paid for by the lay farmers of America. You know, or whatever.
brought to you by Supercorn. Buy it today at your local supermarket.
Yeah, and you know the ethical implications of having people eat you know, lay modified food. Like, what does that look like?
Oh, that's like GMO shit. That's
Yeah,
getting
it's basically
that's getting.
GMO.
I like that. That is really. I like that. Super corn into super ethanol.
God.
So I'm writing that one.
I mean,
down.
that is an interesting idea, actually. Like, just taking it a tad more seriously. The idea of what if, in addition to all the movements we've had towards the advancement of society away from fossil fuels, there are some folks who are like, but what if we take this new technology and make super fossil fuel? And they're like, half the community is like, this is what need are you answering for this? Who's asking for this? And the other half are like, oh, but I think he's got a point there, John. I think we should invest in super diesel.
Super diesel.
Like a hybrid diesel engines. Like,
Made from
large-
super dinosaurs.
Yeah. But I do like the idea of like, you know, I do like the idea of like, maybe that is a thing. Like there's some folks going like, the geode engine is a great invention, but it'll put a lot of diesel creators out of work. What if we create like hybrid geode engines? And we use those with diesel and ley line energy. And that way we don't have to worry about putting everyone out of work. We just slowly like filing out of it. And there's like the other half of the scientific community are like, no, fuck you. The geode engine's cheaper than making this crap. So we're doing it. But I like that idea of that pushback. That can be really fun.
Well, it's like that
Well,
whole concept. Sorry,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, we were talking about retrograde as one of the like words that we started with, and this is a good example of where that would be. There's certainly going to be the people like, well, why are we doing the new stuff when the old stuff worked okay? You know, there's always going to be those people.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's still happening today. You know.
Oh,
It's
I have
just human.
another relevant addition to Enterprise and Cultivate. I think this would be a great time for me to bring up the thing that I was talking about, Nick. Magitech.
Oh, you just want to make this an Aetherpunk setting, don't you?
I do. It would be so good.
I can't
So-
pretend as though as if my Lancia has firmly put it like approaching that.
You-
So we're growing gun blades.
No, God, please, anything but that.
Like-
Anything but that.
Like eggplants. We grow them like eggplants.
We grow swords if the supercorn. The
I
ears
just
are
love
as
the
sharp
idea.
as steel.
I just
No.
love the idea of like, this little gunblade here is barely 2 months old. We feed it nothing but milk and solid quartz. Take it home to your family.
That's
See how they
disturbing.
treat you. Like
Gerber Life is looking for applicants for its affordable grow-up plan.
Gunber life.
Gunber Life.
Oh no!
Stop.
There's
Oh
just a
my
little
God.
picture of like a cute little gun blade on the.
I have a feeling this is going to
Holy
become our
shit.
new tiny secret locomotive / bonk moment, like the gun blades that we don't want in our setting.
Have a fucking heart.
Oh god. I
No,
do-
but in all seriousness, I see like with the advancement of technology, between all this new technology and like splicing it with old technology, there's going to be a lot of venture research, and
Well,
that
yeah.
would be a really good segue into into like actual Magitech
Right.
Yeah.
in the
Well,
setting, with Lei being this somewhat extraterrestrial.
well, it's unexplainable. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be what makes it mad. It's not like Kaladesh, where it's just like, oh, there's the Aether and it just exists. It's just like we just found this new thing, so we're gonna refine it. We don't quite understand how it works, but that's very human to not quite understand how something works and use it. I mean, look at asbestos.
Right.
But sorry,
But because this is noble right, it'll work this time. So like, I'm only halfway joking about that. But like, yeah, you're not wrong, and I think that's a solid idea, honestly. Like, I mean,
Omni, put on
kind of
another
like,
hat.
when you have infinite levels of like power, why wouldn't you? Oh God.
Go. Keep talking.
Hold on. I got it.
Wait, Matt's got
We
another
also
hat.
have the
Oh,
other
let's go.
PNG. That's light. That's lighter than air. It doesn't require me to crush my spine.
Nah, that's
with
all right.
a giant helmet.
I like my guests suffering. I like this pleasant Ghibli music going. Let's go. Yeah.
An order of operations has to happen here. All right, there we go.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I feel you. Such
All
a
right.
big move.
Double build.
Yeah, like the advent of Magitech or like Magitech style things. Like leyline tech is literally just like you can pull energy from the air. It's a lot like the way the ether was used in like science fiction during the atomic age, where it's like, how do we do this? Well, you know, if it's not atomic in front of the word, it's ether in front of the word. How do you travel through space? Well, clearly the ether will provide that. What about communications? Well, ether wave radio will be an incredibly efficient means of communication. Like the ley line actually could do that. Like ley lines could do that.
Let's draw
So
a
you
line.
could-
Let's draw a line.
Right.
I don't want this to be the
ley line.
Let's draw the. You're definitely not coming back on. So let's draw. You are worse. Good. This is my shit. No, but we're drawing the. See, I don't. That's the biggest thing I have. Microphone users? Oh yeah, their poor microphones are blowing out.
You guys.
No, I have it limited. They're not gonna hear me too loud. See, the problem I have with magic for that exact reason is the whole idea of, you know, like it does everything. I hate that.
Right.
I hate panacea type magic. I hate like a cure-all magic because that's just so shit, right?
Well, this magic only works if you put it into technology.
So see, that's where you draw the line, right? Like that'll be the. It's not like something you can't just like. I'm gonna huff this shit and I'm gonna like feel better, right? You know,
Right.
it's not a miracle cure for
That
everything, and
would
it should.
be interesting if they did make like drugs and stuff.
No. I
don't
just said I don't
think
want
about
that.
How that works.
I normally don't
Also-
say no, but like I want to have like a compelling sort of thing. It's like maybe some people take it as like a drug, but then they find out it kills them. But
I
but
mean, like,
you know.
I don't know how though. Like the whole idea of ley lines is they're invisible lines of energy. It's not like you're scooping.
Well, no,
up
the
a
geodes. The
ley.
geodes themselves, they're like crushing it into a
Okay.
fine powder, mortar and pestle, and snorting it or
Oh
something.
god, that's way too close to real life, if for my taste. But that's fair. Like, I get that. I guess.
It's only too close because you're in Florida.
You ain't whistling Dixie there, brother. That'd be my neighbors because I'm in Florida. God.
Come to Florida. We have cocaine, swamp,
Oh, I thought you were
alligator.
gonna leave it at cocaine. and I'd be
Coca.
like,
That would have been accurate. Yeah, Miami.
Cocaine, yeah.
Cocainium. Oh, cocainium.
But yeah, no. I guess that's fair. Either way, like, I do like the idea though of like, it isn't a cure-all, but I do like the idea that the leyline tech shows such promise that it could be a revolutionary swing. It's kind of like the way, sort of like the way plasmids were like such a transformative thing in BioShock that literally even in like settings where they're not in Rapture, they have sort of plasmids. Because the concept was so revolutionary, literally everyone tried it.
It could be that right now it's not there, but people are seeing the potential, and maybe it's a false potential. You know, it could be that you know, we've had plenty of technological advancements where, you know, people are like, oh, this is going to be the future, and then it definitely isn't. You know,
Right.
so it could be that, you know, that they just haven't run into the wall yet, but it's out there and it's waiting, and maybe maybe part of this world is finding where that wall is that you run into.
Yeah,
that's fair.
that'd be a good thing for players to explore specifically. Like if
Mhm.
this is less of a narrative setting and more of like a sandbox sort of like play around with it sort of setting. One of the things that we set, a precedent that we set is just like we are on the cutting edge of this stuff. Like you just said, like we're on the cutting edge. We don't understand how it
Yeah.
works just yet. We don't understand the fundamentals of it, and we probably never will, unless it's like several hundred years in the future. Because it's just an unexplainable thing, but like, oh, if you put it in here and like shine a light through it, it works, right? So my thought
Right.
process on that is just like planes cannot have these in them yet because that would be a hyper advanced engine that they don't have yet, i.e. the jet engine, which would probably be replaced by this thing. So it's a bit of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a Fallout sort of universe. It's like it's almost Earth-like until a very, very prominent split happens, and then like nothing that happens from then on is like even remotely the same. Because Fallout, instead of having gas in their cars, nuclear fission in all of their cars, like in the 1950s.
right.
That was the big split for them. So for these folks, they wouldn't get to the jet engine. They would be inventing the lay engine or a geode engine or like a geojet engine, that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Cool.
It's definitely a how far do you want science to go, and how much of science is going to answer our other problems in life.
And how many more problems is it going to cause along the way?
100%, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because like because that's the kind of like magic I like. I like soft magic in the sense that it's like it's whimsical. It's people don't understand it. It's not like Magic the Gathering or D&D where it's like quantified. It's like you pay this amount, it does this thing. You know exactly what it does every single time. It's a bit like Gandalf. Gandalf, just you don't know how he does his magic, but he always seems to have something, right, for the exact
Right.
occasion. For some reason, he summoned fucking eagles instead of whatever.
He did not summon them. Oh my god, I'm gonna rip you a new one.
Whatever, you know what I mean. But like,
I get you. I mean, Gandalf is literally like the equivalent of like an angelic figure. So yeah, no, that makes sense.
it's a sort of thing where it's like it's flubber versus numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like what does this shit do? Probably nothing. But you know.
But it sure makes Robin Williams have a good time on screen for an hour and a half, and that's what we need.
True.
Thank you, by the way, Nathan, for the posture check and the hydration check there.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, honestly, I think that's a good point to go away from Enterprise and Cultivate, because we sort of talked about like how we went from talking about super corn to talking about how geos and leylands being cultivated to be used in modern things. It's like it's how electricity. It's very akin to how electricity sort of made its way into every aspect of our lives. You know, it started off as just like, oh, this is a simple open-closed circuit. It can turn on a rudimentary light bulb with like a lead filament, and then it's just like I don't know if they're lead filaments. Sorry, correct me if I'm
Tungsten.
wrong. Tungsten filaments, yes. Which was actually invented by a black man, not Edison. But Edison came up with paper filaments. Anyway, I don't remember the name of the guy.
Edison come up with anything? No, I'm kidding.
No, Edison came up with a lot of shit. He came up with the
I
idea.
know. I'm being facetious, like, and needlessly antagonistic with the dead.
Hey, every great idea does not have one person behind it. That's the thing. But one person always gets credit.
Unless you're Mary Curie.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Well, yeah, but unless you're a woman. How's that?
Just carry on. Carry on.
Correct on that one? Anyway.
Well, that's not. I mean, that's sexist towards men. That's not even. But anyway.
Okay,
Oh my God,
Now
stop.
we've been corrected. Let's move on to our next word. Should you want me and you to pick a word and mash them together now, since we made both our guests do that?
Yeah. Let's see.
Now it's our turn to do the fusion dance.
Let me put on my thinking spectacles.
I'm just gonna adjust mine down into battle mode.
Battle mode.
Let's see. So let's see. Where are we gonna go? All right, Red, you go first, buddy.
Okay. Also, on that note, so I don't like completely sound sexist and I don't get canceled on Twitter. There's a long history of women inventing things completely by themselves, while men need entire teams. They're like, we need to invent the railroad. It's just like, okay, you need this entire team. Women are just like, I discovered the cure to cancer. Well, that'll happen next year. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Who is the woman who did all of the equations for the very first moon landing all by herself, by hand?
I don't know, but she was a fucking genius. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. I think actually she had a whole team. I think there was also like a whole team
Yeah.
of women behind NASA for a long time crunching the numbers too. Like
Katherine
generally speaking.
Johnson and her crew. Yeah,
Yeah.
she is a fascinating figure to look into. Man, like,
Men.
see, there's a whole. I could get into. Anyway, go
Hey,
ahead.
thank you for the follow. Much love. Easy shot yeet. I like that. I like that name.
Perfect.
Easy shot yeet. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for the follow. Sorry, I'm trying not to get canceled on Twitter.
You're good. Choose a word that'll help.
Oh my God, you really do look like Keanu. Yeah, see, he looks like what's his name from Cyberpunk, Johnny Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a little bit.
like the
Yeah, he
fuck
looks
up.
like what's his name?
He looks like what's his that's such a Midwestern thing to say. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's see. What's your first word? Omni, I'll let you pick.
Oh, of course. Okay. I'm gonna go.
What do you mean? Oh, of course. Fuck you. You're on the show. You're supposed to be my host, you bastard.
Look, I don't care. One of us. I don't care. I'll go first. Allies.
Yeah.
I want to do allies.
Yeah. Allies are what started World War I to begin with.
I mean, yes, this is true.
Yeah, that's entirely true. Period. End of story. That's why Germany got the shit end of the stick, because the country that initially started it got split into two other countries, and Germany's just like, I guess we're the only ones left to take the blame for it. Poor Germany.
Oops.
Just kidding. I said poor Germany like they didn't start World War II. Anyway, so the second, my second word. Let's see here. Allies.
Yep, allies was the first.
Garbage.
Garbage. Give me the garbage.
Garbage out.
Garbage allies. Just like Italy for the Axis powers. Let's see
my
here.
God.
I keep thinking. Actually, let's go with garbage. I like garbage. That's funny. Garbage allies.
Are you kidding me?
Garbage
Okay.
allies. I'm gonna put garbage before those. I did pick my word first anyway. So, let's see here. There we go. Why the silence, huh? You gonna say something?
That's just
No,
a blinking
no,
cursor there. That's going to be a
No.
blinking cursor.
No, you're good. You're good. That's no, of course not. Definitely not. No, I'm not.
Whoa!
Gonna add that to my flavor or anything.
Okay.
Anyway. No, seriously, I love you. So
You typed CU, and I'm like, what are you typing? What are you typing?
Oh wait, did I? Really?
No, somebody did.
No,
Is that you
me.
typing? You're the gopher.
That wasn't me.
You're
Anyway,
anonymous
so,
gopher. Yeah.
That's me.
Let's put those back up so I can
I'm
actually.
I'm a gopher. What?
Yeah, you're anonymous
No.
gopher. Yeah.
I don't want to be anonymous gopher. It's so stupid.
We don't get to choose the animals in the great wide world of
No!
dogs,
Nah.
unfortunately.
You're
So,
my favorite gopher.
Okay, so we have garbage allies. Jesus. Oh god, of all the words. Literally, you could have picked any other word. It would have been great. But no,
Well,
garbage.
at least planted this disease in here, so like I'm just gonna run
That's
with it.
fair. All right.
Garbage allies.
So,
Okay, no. Let's actually look at history for this. Like what's a garbage
Right.
ally? Canada.
God.
okay. That's one way of looking at it. I'm gonna take the reins briefly and steer it away from us just taking a moment to shit on every like Axis and Allied power during World War
Are you
I
sure?
To imperialism. Yes, because that would be easy. Yeah, that's right.
Well-
I'm saying it's easy to go into World War I and talk about how everyone was an idiot.
Well, no, but like it's less about being like you're stupid and more about being like it's comparable. You know, like for this
Right.
setting's sake.
It
It's
is
just
a
like
little bit also like dunking on like long dead people.
well, I mean, most of the people that are long dead were shit, so they kind of deserve to be long dead, like
Yeah.
Mussolini.
I'm
But
going to take it in another direction, though, and tie it partially what we talked about earlier, though.
okay,
So we talked about the idea of cultivating an enterprise, the idea of repairing damaged environments and landscapes.
sure.
One of the things that exists in modern trade that people don't really talk about very much is actually
Yes.
shipping of garbage. Yeah, no,
Shipping
my man
of
knows what I'm
garbage.
talking about.
Okay.
This is
And,
actually a fucking crazy thing.
It is. It's the idea that we don't have enough landfill space for our crap.
We
Right.
dump it in other wide open spaces. Have you seen the fields that they like yesterday's fashions where they just dump clothing? It's
Yeah,
the most
100%.
disturbing shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like all these Macy's
Also-
clothes just dumped in an open field somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably in like
And
an
I like
African or a
that.
Middle
Yeah,
Eastern
fields
country.
of TJ Maxx. Yes.
Yeah, seriously, man. Like,
It absolutely baffles me that that companies just throw it away, pollute the environment instead of donating it.
yeah,
Like,
and
fast
so
fashion.
and not even just like in the United States or like in another first world country. They dump it in third world countries and other places. Like
Yeah.
it's literally just being like, I'm gonna come into your house and take a shit on your floor and then leave. It's just like,
Oh, by the way, your government paid me, so or we paid your government, so it's fine. Like
Right.
they said, it's
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, no, instead of like distributing
I
all
respect
of,
you,
all of these products to this third world country, we're just gonna turn it into a landfill.
Derek,
Basically.
Yeah.
Not to mention like that people don't even think about is like the production, especially things like clothes and cotton.
Oh,
produces
yeah, sure.
So much environmental waste just in the production of the item that you're just it's insane how much it.
Yeah.
Derek said that's where I get my clothes from.
Yeah. No, I got him. I saw him with that. I was like, oh, I got you, man. I feel you.
No, but
I
that's
put
like
it
that's actually a really good point. See, I was just gonna talk about allies just being horrible to each other, but
No, I think this
This
is
is
interesting, right? Like, so what are there countries that maybe came out of this poorer and are looking? They don't have
Yeah.
necessarily the resources within themselves to build up the same technologies that the others have, and so how do they start getting a leg up and things? Well, one thing maybe some of them have is a lot of land that nobody fucking wants, so they start selling literally land in order for other places to dump their waste. And maybe do geode engines cause some sort of waste that needs to be displaced somewhere?
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
do they have a byproduct? See, that's a really interesting idea because like,
And is it a
that's-
dangerous byproduct?
Yeah.
Is it? So yeah.
Is it a
Maybe.
volatile? Does it have like a half life and stuff like that? Because like that's one of the dangerous things about electric cars right now is the lithium ion batteries. After they're dead, they do nothing. They just sit. Like they are literally just a giant hunk of metal that does nothing anymore, and they're actually
That
kind of
might
dangerous to the
explode.
environment. That might
Yeah.
explode. Yeah.
Maybe just maybe.
I'm gonna take just a moment to plug sustainable and secondhand clothing to reduce environmental waste. If you can do that,
Nice.
just a recommendation for everybody out there.
Or buy from
Uh,
local clothiers.
Fair. Now, I will also say that there's also like a noble right way of approaching this too, which I will continue to desperately grab this and drag
Please.
this as close towards noble right as I can. Which is
No,
the
no, no.
idea that in addition to like garbage as it is, we can take this as also recycling. Because what other nations would consider discarding or just leaving on fields of war, especially if these wars were fought all over the planet, it could be that some of these like smaller nations also could be themselves seeing a massive benefit from these wars having been fought there, because now their nations are littered with the war remain materials of these these what was once highly advanced technology now would be a scrapper's wildest dreams. So if you have like literally a world where this war was fought on almost every continent, everywhere you can go, there's battlefields and discarded machines, and now we're moving towards this new advanced tech that makes it so the nations might not have even bothered to reclaim a lot of that technology. It's already outmoded out of the gate. But that might allow small renaissances for communities that never had this technology before. Now they're like, oh, we never had diesel. But that's like 400 tanks over that hill over there in
Yeah.
a battle that was fought like a quarter century ago. That'll make fantastic locomotives for our town.
See, like,
Stuff
and
like that.
along that train of thought, I'm thinking like, so, remove a hat for the sake of your spines. Who wants
Thank
to?
God.
Okay,
I'm
we'll let
taking
Omni
it off.
remove one.
I'm
I'm fine.
gonna take this off.
I got my Team Fortress 2
Just because it's
towering
attaching
pillar
my
of hats type shit.
My two big
My,
cranes.
my hat is pretty heavy and uncomfortable. Can I take it off?
Yeah, I'll take it off for you. Sorry.
you're
Um,
yeah.
Watch the stream for like a few seconds.
You know, Neris didn't specify a hat, by the way. I think it's fair we can all take a hat off.
No, it's fine. I'll keep mine on. They're comfortable. My head is hot. So the what was I gonna say? So I'm listening to the Ghibli music, so I'm thinking because I think of Ghibli as being like they're a perfect example of noble raid settings. Because like you have a really dark theme like Nausicaa, like it's like apocalyptic, but it still has this like bright, hopeful future. I love that stuff. So I'm thinking garbage is being transported, but people are repurposing it into moving castles. They're sort of like building
well-
communities out of this waste. Like they're building like
Are there
places for people to
people-
stay.
yeah, or
Literal
maybe
garbage allies.
Yeah.
Literal garbage kingdoms.
Literal garbage kingdoms. Yeah.
well, one of the things that always oh, let me look up the name of them. Yeah, Strong Beast. Like those like giant like walking, wind powered walking machines. I mean, are there people, are there communities that have taken, these discarded things from war and so on, and maybe even, they pick through the garbage of what is dumped from other nations, and they repurpose these into these like giant strong beasts that they use to, travel around in a barren landscape in whatever their country is. That would be kind of rad.
See, that's really cool. That is really rad. Because like I'm thinking about it now. It's sort of set up like a railway system, or so I like it's like wind powered. So you have the giant sail, but like it's sort of like a what do they call those? Those things that go up to ski lodges. What are those called?
Lifts.
Lifts, gondola. Like they have like these gondolas that
Oh,
are like,
okay.
yeah, gondolas. That's right.
Yeah, gondola's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they're like air powered gondolas. They have like a very simple engine that's like blowing air into the sail, and they just sort of like travel along a wire just
Oh,
around places.
exactly what that makes me think of? Have any of you ever seen Ghibli's Castle in the Sky?
Yes.
I
know
need
exactly
to
what
see
you're
it.
talking
Yes, that is what that makes me think of 100%, and I love it.
Don't worry, we'll watch that together. Elise has been catching me up on the childhood I never had.
about. Oh, that's such a big mood. It's such a
Okay, so full
Wow,
disclosure.
look at me, I'm all sad and junk.
No, like I had a childhood. I just didn't like watch Ghibli movies, right? I watched like Cartoon
No, I
Network
got
and
you. I
shit.
got
But like, she's been catching me up on Ghibli movies. I tried to watch Spirited Away when I was a kid. When the parents turned into pigs, it scared the shit out of me so bad I turned the TV
That's
off.
fair.
Like it was so scary to me that I had to turn it off, and I
mean,
didn't watch it beyond
those
that.
movies can have jarringly frightening sequences.
Although they're still a little uncomfortable for me now because I'm a big pussy. Like and I jump and I get scared of things, and like even like the notion of something that's like scary can kind of make me feel discomfort. But
No, that's fair.
like at least like gives me shit for the ice settling in my metal cup. That makes me jump. It makes me like.
That's fair.
I know it's coming. It just little noises
Man.
make me jump, but.
Now I'm just thinking about like whole societies of
Just
people,
garbage
like,
people.
building like building new technologies from the wastes of a world that thought that those things were useless, but finding new ways to
And that's
create
satire
from them.
That's a narrative satire. It's just sort of just like look at all this waste, and it's just like what if people like it's not so simple as like, oh yeah, we could just go pick up a bunch of clothes from this desert that we dump them in and like make them into something. They're useless, they're thrown away. But like in this time era where they're using steel for vehicles, oh yeah, steel and stuff like that and glass can be repurposed and all sorts of things. And plastic's probably just been invented. So it's not like we're not having landfills full of plastic straws and stuff like that. And
it's still
that
probably
sort of
not
thing.
even being utilized. Like
No.
plastic really didn't see industrial use of any true scale for quite some time.
Until like the
It's more
1940s,
curiosity.
50s, 60s.
Right. We've got
Yeah.
we've got this shit. I don't know what to do with it. That's kind of where they're
Right,
Yeah, and they're
It's
still
sitting
using
in some like museum somewhere, some lab, some sentist like this shit will never catch.
Well, yeah, but like think
And,
about
that's it.
so like this is like a garbage community. This is like a community, landfill community, but it's like using trash of like the early 1920s. So it's just like there's a lot of like tins and metal being thrown away. So being a welder in that society, oh, you'd be
Yeah.
making so much cool shit. Oh, that's so cool. This is like very it's like a romanticized version of trash.
I got you. I told you to get you. I told you I guessed Noel right.
you drug us there. I'm proud of you.
I am
Thank
proud.
you.
I'm proud to have
I
you
also
as my
like the
co-host.
idea of like the comparison I would immediately make to like anyone watching right now would be like the Nation of Zon in Arcane, where it's like, hey, they literally live as like dregs of a larger society that throws away a bunch of useful arcane crap, and they're like, yeah, no, that piece of garbage you threw away because you thought it wasn't workable, I tinkered with it and learned to stop time with your thing. Just letting you know, or like another person like, oh yeah, we made hoverboards out of that shit. Like we're not quite that level of tech yet, but we're on the idea of like people are throwing away useful technology after this era in the preempt of what's coming, and it's still very practical. And honestly, they could probably find ways to make diesel you know, again, like we joked with the idea of like a geode hybrid engine. They actually could perhaps make the like use of something similar to that, like wind power, like the wind power stern beast you were talking about. Like
Yeah.
same thing, wind power, like wind power diesel assist, where it just becomes so efficient. Where it's like, yeah, no, it's basically zero emission. We barely ever need
Yeah.
to get diesel for it.
Yeah, the diesel, like, you know, maybe it's just like every once in a while to get it moving, but then it sustains itself off of that. Yeah,
There's like a
absolutely.
dynamo or something on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There's a we'll say this, and we'll actually go to break because we're actually getting a little bit over time for break. But there's this thing where guns they're trying to fire depleted uranium as a weapon because like just sort of like repurpose it and use it. I can imagine Geo to be repurposed for something very similar. It'd be like, oh yeah, let's put him in like a cannon. So like we'll get like a Geo that's like really spent, so this thing will explode like a motherfucker when it hits something. Just like, and maybe it's like for competition shooting because that's
that
really
would look really cool.
well, yeah, because like, could you imagine just like something gets struck and you just see like this prismatic like wave
You know,
of color?
It's used for celebrations. It's fireworks.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Or if your neighbor pissed you off, you just leave one on their front doorstep. You know, like.
Oh god. I mean, now we're starting to talk about your little like hovel, like your little hovel meme nation of well, let's just keep fighting, guys. Like,
well,
okay, what if we take this technology and just I don't know, dunk on
what if we take technology and blow up people with it? I mean, it's genius. But like, I mean, that's a really cool thought, though.
What if we leveled them a little closer to ground, towards people?
What if we make Sears parking lot? Yes.
Oh God! Now we've gone there.
I do not sponsor Dick Cheney. So on that note, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, folks. Submit your one-word prompts for us. They can be anything along the lines of agnostic, allies, garbage, perennial, discipline, any of those words. Or you can give us a question and stuff like that, and we'll answer that when we come back. So stay tuned. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Writer's Block, the show where we build worlds with words. I don't know why I made that the catchphrase. It just really doesn't roll off the tongue. But we did it. It's okay if I'm,
It's passable.
it's palatable. You know.
Yeah.
So
Palpable.
palpable. Palpatine. Let's see.
It's thankfully not Palpatine.
Stankfully.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Palpatine.
Damn it.
Welcome to Matt just recites catchphrases for 3 hours.
I mean, at least you didn't. I was about to do the whole, like, you know, from my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
From my perspective, it's Maybelline.
Oh god.
So we actually didn't get that many prompts. Shame on you people.
I did see one. Really
Syzygy? Syzygy.
Yeah,
I've heard
that's
that
the
word
one.
before, but what the fuck does that mean?
Okay, so a syzygy is, and I know this because of Destiny. Thank you.
You're a
So
nerd.
the idea with syzygy is where you have multiple planetary bodies aligning from the perspective of a planet. So, as an example, a stellar, I guess it'd be a stellar syzygy, would be where stars align. A planetary syzygy would be where planets align, and a lunar syzygy, which is the most common one, would be where multiple moons line up so that they are over the same point on a planet. And when it comes to a lunar syzygy, there's actually a gravitational effect. So the more moons that are stacked on that point, you can actually, like from orbit, see a planet's ocean begin to deform. And like with our moon, it's, you know, it's always a syzygy, but it's not that big a deal. That's high tide, low tide. But with a planet with 2 moons, you can actually see the oceans physically deform a little bit. And Jupiter and Saturn, their clouds literally warp when syzygies happen. It literally changes the shape of the planet visibly. So it's a cool effect, and it rarely happens.
So it's the Great Conjunction from the Dark Crystal as well.
Yeah, that's a syzygy, 100%. Only that's like a syzygy, a cosmic syzygy, which...
Omni?
Yeah.
Jake?
Yes.
I didn't get a word of what you just said. So, on that note,
Celestial bodies line up.
Yes. Moons line up, planets line up, stars line up. Lunar,
no, I
planetary,
was mostly
stellar.
no, that was mostly a joke. I play up the
Too bad.
I play up
I'm
the
too
stupid
literal
thing.
for that shit.
I play up the
Yeah.
stupid thing for stream. I'm actually even dumber off stream. So,
Damn.
well, I diss my guest. I gotta diss myself too. Wouldn't be fair. Because Omni never like picks on me. I swear, I nonstop barrage this motherfucker, and he's just like, "Oh, Rad, you card." So I gotta.
I have dad energy, and the best thing I can do is go, "Oh, that's great, son," and then I go home and cry. So,
I
my
mean,
revenge
off stream.
is that you made me sad.
well, yeah, because like we talked about it at like the Omni and Red lore, like how whenever the stream ends, we just don't talk to each other. We just kind of give each other a look and a nod, and we just end the stream. Don't talk at all, but don't answer each other's emails.
No, definitely not. The fact the stream actually happens is a miracle.
It is a miracle. Yeah, truly.
Yeah, no.
It's
Even
like
though like it isn't like we started the stream entirely off of like literally endlessly talking to each other for almost 3 hours.
no, it was like a. Us coming up with the idea for the stream was like comparable to like a hate fuck, if you understand my meaning.
I can't even.
So it's
repeat
not
that.
the syzygy that I thought it was that brought this together.
It was more of a scissor, if you understand my meaning. Anyway, so
Anyway, Syzygy.
we're gonna do the
I don't
show.
like
Compared to the others, it's probably fun.
Oh, I'll turn myself down. Sorry.
Okay.
I know I'm just beautifully loud. Usually I'm quiet. The fuck.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, usually, right? Like we gotta talk for you usually.
I can't help it. I turned myself down a little bit. I hope that's better. So yeah, Syzygy. I'm gonna let you guys run with that, but I'll sit back.
All right. So I have an idea, but I want to hear what you folks have, so I'm not literally making this world entirely like without guest attention. So let's do it. Let's see what you two have.
Oh man, I have nothing.
Okay, that's fair.
If you don't have anything, put your hands behind your head.
Are the stars well, Hal, you have to tell me if you're putting your hands behind your head because I can't tell.
I really need to get like an animation of like little stick figure hands just like going behind the head. That'd be...
So are we supposed to be providing more prompts? I'm a little bit confused.
No, like
still.
no, we're just running with prompts. So Syzygy was the prompt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I was like, if you have any ideas for Syzygy, now is the time, because I definitely have one, but I don't want to just talk roughshod.
I've got one.
Run with it.
I'm thinking that this planet. Do we have an actual name for the planet?
Nothing.
No. The name of the setting is on Earth, but we don't have a name for the planet.
Yeah.
All right.
Spoopiter.
Non-Earth.
Spoopiter.
Non-Earth.
We are not calling this Spoopiter. That's almost as bad as calling the world Bob. We're not doing that. Planet Bob.
Uranus 2.
Oh my god. So anyway, not Earth is an acceptable word now. Where are we going?
No, not Earth is too close to Middle Earth. We gotta come up with something now. Now that we're talking about it.
Oh, if I could roll my eyes any harder, they'd fall out of my head. Anyway.
Well, we can't see it, so.
Oh my god.
Not Earth planet has
I'll come up with a
multiple celestial bodies orbiting it. Maybe even potentially like multiple moons, maybe rings. Maybe it's close to a meteor belt. When all of these bodies align, sorry, I'm getting tongue tied over here.
You good?
It creates this refraction, so to say. I'm not an astrophysicist, so I can't think of the correct words to say. Onto this planet, and that is what creates ley. But the citizens of this planet don't have a big enough understanding of astrology to comprehend that yet. Their science, their metaphysical, that's not the right word, astrological science is not that advanced. They don't understand that, so they think it's probably an act of some deity that has created this.
Or it's just like dumb luck. Like they don't really understand like the process.
Yeah, like striking oil.
Okay.
Like striking oil in the 1800s.
Right. Okay, that's fair. That's actually a little close to what I was thinking of. So like that easily works together. Like I like the idea that it almost sounds like the way that the planet's like magnetic field is made. Like a lot of people don't know that the magnetic field of our planet comes from the fact that our core is molten metal and it spins. So
our core is not molten metal. They just proved that. It's actually it's an entirely different state of matter. This is brand new. It's
if you're about to say strange matter, I'm about to.
No, it's not strange matter. What the fuck?
Look, I had someone actually try to sell me on that a couple weeks ago, and I about smacked him.
What do they still believe in string theory too? What the fuck?
Strange matter exists. It just won't exist anywhere near us. Anyway, you were saying.
It's super ionic.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
That doesn't preclude it.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so it's not solid and it's not a liquid, and it's not obviously not a gas.
Oh, non-Newtonian.
Super ionic means it's made up of hydrogen, oxygen.
Follow-up song performed by Atlantis Morissette.
So not super ionic water.
It's the inner core.
Super ionic state.
It's made up of hydrogen,
like
oxygen, and carbon. Why you like this?
Instead, forming a super ionic state with hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. I'm literally reading this up now.
But super ionic is a completely different state of matter.
Yeah, it's a state of matter.
Other than solid, liquid, or gas. So it's an actual new state. Well, not new. It's probably existed, but... Well, no, it is a weird new state of... So this is a new state of matter. God,
yeah,
they're going to be teaching kids about this in science classes now. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, so from what I can tell, it seems like... So basically they're saying it's a semi-solid core that because of the matrix of oxygen, hydrogen, carbon packed with iron, basically turns the core into something approaching a superconductor, which still rotates, which is the point I was getting at, is that it's an iron core that rotates.
Sorry, I just thought I cut you off to be contrary.
No, it's okay. You actually did so in the most educational way possible, so I'm not upset.
Well, I didn't know. I had to look it up, so I mean, it's not necessary education.
I mean,
I'm not one of those
I
assholes
did
that
too.
runs a podcast and has Google next to me and acts like I know everything. Joe Rogan.
I mean, I'm
but
just saying this is cool, and I need to research now. This, like, thanks. This is actually legitimately interesting.
Just get that 200 million deal from Spotify, and you're good.
oh, you can call me
yeah,
Neil
like,
Young
so-
in that regard.
Anyway, the point is the center of a planet that is a living planet with a living magnetic field is because the planet's core has enough of an iron or a conductive metal core that rotates, which creates a magnetic field, which is what keeps us from getting utterly.
This is
baked by
really,
everything.
really, really hard world building. Can you what's your point?
Oh my god!
What's your point?
Hold it in for a
No,
minute.
no, no. What's your
Hold
point?
breath,
What's your
on.
point? Because this is getting
My
boring.
point is that people didn't know where that came from till we figured out the basic idea that our planet is an electromagnet.
We still
People don't know that the ley lines come from this interaction of moons in the same way. So, like, that I like. That's how it recharges the ley line.
Okay.
And I was saying that sometimes a Syzygy might not just be like the moons, but the ley lines themselves might travel.
So,
and
like
supercharge regions with energy.
Okay, so it's like lunar cycles is what you're trying to get at. Like lunar cycles, sort of like.
Really not that hard, buddy.
Well, I'm not saying that it's hard. Well, yes, it is. We're literally talking about
It's
like
only
astrological
rocket science,
figures.
Red. Come on.
What the
seriously,
fuck?
2022.
We're building a fucking like Ghibli world, not a goddamn nuclear reactor. What the fuck?
We technically did with the Geo, anyways. So.
No, it is. Shut up. It's a plug and play. It's not like you need
this
to
is
fucking.
like getting you back for all this bullshit. Anyway, so I'm dragging you over hard world building like I've keel hauled you from the back of a car.
Keel hauling somebody on a car is like my life stream now.
Oh my god! I mean,
that doesn't sound anywhere near as bad as doing it on a wooden ship, but it ain't that hard.
Man, you guys have very violent dreams. I just want to slide across the hood of a car like in Sabotage. That's all I want. I just want to be that cool,
aspire to
that
that.
I have somewhere to go so urgently that I slide across the hood of a car.
So in short,
like Dukes of Hazzard.
When the moons align, it recharges the ley lines, and the ley lines themselves can drift and sometimes align and cause power, like surges. How does that sound, Hal? Does that sound cool?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at before Nick had to go be like, this is so stupid and dumb, and I don't
I didn't even say it was stupid. I was just saying it's getting like a little too into it.
This is as broad a scope of world building as I can think of.
Bullshit! You could do better than that.
Planetary level.
Motherfucker's like, the Earth cycles.
What do you want us to go on further?
Did you know the Earth is actually tilted?
Goddamn, shut the fuck up. Shut the actual fuck up.
Syzygy was an amazing world. Thank you.
What's next? Are we gonna talk about fucking weather patterns or like you know?
I mean, like we could talk about.
No, absolutely not. I'm not trying to be a dick. That stuff just kind of gets. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm stupid, so I don't understand. It's just it takes away from the wonder we're trying to build. Is what I'm saying. Like when you put something in slate like that, it just sort of it's like, okay, and people don't like to read that stuff. I've found.
No,
so.
I hard bullshit that full like you don't.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. If you like Warhammer, you like Warhammer. So yeah.
Get out of here. It's an entire. I read the Expanse. I live and breathe on that stuff. Where they're like, oh, so their jets are actually projected steam. That's really cool.
Matt's just sitting here.
World building right there. Oh man.
I'm looking at Matt. He's just like.
Here's the thing. Y'all are like nonstop arguing and talking over each other.
No.
I think something like that, like a celestial event like that, would be a great, like traditional setup for like a campaign or a story or anything like that. Like
the Lunar Festival.
Like a great conjunction, like in the Dark Crystal.
You wrote
where there is this cosmic or celestial event that causes certain things to happen.
You know, for some reason I'm picturing like, you know, an Aurora Borealis, but it happens like on land level.
So entirely within someone's kitchen at this time of year.
With steamed hams. I mean hams. It's a
Steamed
Eureka
ham.
expression.
But you know that idea that you could be standing somewhere and there's like these like shifting, moving lights that travel across the ground.
That
Like, that would be.
reminds me of something. Did you ever see the? Did you watch
Was it
season?
that time you did LSD?
Sometimes. Well, no. Oh, did you ever see that episode of the season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots where they're in that like desert
Yes.
and then there's like a
yes.
bunch of like weird
Oh,
neon
yeah, the
ghost
fish.
fish?
The prehistoric ocean, the fossil.
That's
Yes.
exactly what I'm thinking about when you're saying that. The idea of like lights just traveling through people.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be wonderful as heck. That'd be super cool. I would love to see that.
And
Yeah.
you know, like, could there be effects that happen to people during that time, like people that are, you know, maybe altered in some way by, you know, being exposed to that? I have no idea, but it's just a thought.
That would be interesting, sort of like mutations that
Yeah.
happen.
Could
Like,
be
changes in skin color, limbs, or all sorts.
eye
of
color, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, somebody gains the ability to shit super ethanol.
That'd be the worst. Could you imagine just shitting out like 90% alcohol? Just,
That would be called
I-
fire, Ren.
yeah,
that's
I
worse
think
than
you would
Taco Bell.
Yeah, you just die.
Just like fucking shitting out alcohol. No, that's okay. So that's a silly concept, but let me like refine that down a little bit. Get it?
we
No.
are not-
No. Listen to me.
Let him do it.
Listen to me.
I want to hear. Let him talk.
Your liver becomes a distillery.
What? Never mind.
Okay, don't let him
Shut him
talk
up again.
No, but like I guess that's a little more AS. But I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like weird, bizarre, wonky, wacky, cool effects that would happen.
Like, yeah, no, we could see that. Like, or it could almost feel like a Sozin's comet kind of thing from Avatar, or like the full moon. where
Over the
it's
head.
like-
I had to go extra high because of that.
Yeah, but like just like that kind of energy where it's like it might cause like I always think about like what would happen if a solar flare hits Earth, because it's a thing that constantly gets talked about by
Sure.
scientists, and it's like basically the short answer is it's gonna suck. But
Well, yeah.
the real reason is because we'll have more power than we'll ever be able to properly the magnetic field will basically collapse any power grid. And I imagine like it could be the sort of thing where when this sort of thing happens, it could be disastrous to like power grids. Like this could be like a true downside to ley line tech, is that this might be where the power gets so extreme it can't be caged. There's not a capacitor in the world that will keep that kind of power safe.
And
So basically, all ley line technology is completely defunct while this celestial event's going on.
Right, like they have to unplug everything. Like, okay, we have a Syzygy, so for tonight, everyone just like don't come to work today because you'll blow out your engines. Like,
Yeah.
kind of a deal.
Nara says the magnetic poles of our own planet actually flip from time to time. And
Yeah.
I haven't seen Avatar, so forgive me. I have seen the James Cameron one though. The waterbenders being strongest during the full moon.
That's the best version.
It's the best version. Yeah, the blue people. That's my favorite part of Avatar.
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender with the blue people and the guy like falls out of the sky.
Oh my god. Well, I guess it's better. At least you're not talking about the Netflix version of Airbender anyway.
Which one?
So,
I need to watch that one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hell yeah.
How to piss off Avatar fans in 5 seconds.
yeah.
What movie? What movie? I didn't know they made an Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's called
You're
it's,
right,
it's
I'm
called
sorry.
the it's called the first Airbender.
we don't talk about that movie.
Nickelodeon
So,
hire me. I'm a
okay,
genius.
but there is an interesting thought. If it does kind of fuck up geode engines and that kind of thing for the day and interrupt things, I'm certain that there are people who would see opportunity in that, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Is there what do people do in that kind of situation where like, oh, maybe the tech that normally controls this is down, so is there an opportunity in that? I'm certain there are people who would absolutely
Be a
do that sort
heist
of thing.
operation kind of thing. It's just like, oh, the security is
Yeah.
going to be down this evening, and they're going to have to do like manual security. We can handle a couple of goons with guns. We can't handle like a high tech like grid
Right.
system
Right.
that
Right,
runs
like
off
you're
that
not
engine.
like it's one thing if you're gonna bust in, the worst thing people are gonna be carrying is a shotgun. Like if the
Yeah.
room has like 2 amblers walking around, like two 20-foot
What-
tall
yeah.
stick wire mechs, like
Yeah.
stacking boxes. Maybe you wouldn't be so keen to walk in.
Do we want to do some like guys who need some spare change and have like a baton or like some sort of like Geo Dwemer fueled
Right.
like robot rolling around shooting us with lasers. Anyway.
Laser.
Oh, lasers.
Laser.
Freaking lasers on there.
Well, okay, so that pitch is a good idea, in the sense that we sort of have I say Dishonored is a good level of technology to sort of like base this off of, because Dishonored has guns and shit like that, but they also have like
I freaking love the Dishonored universe.
so good. I'm gonna run a game in it one of these days. There's actually a Dishonored system, but
It's not good. I'm sorry.
fuck.
Damn it.
Run it in Call of
It's-
Cthulhu.
It's
then.
it's a 2D20 system, and it's really poorly done, sadly.
Well, we'll use Call of Cthulhu for it. You can use Call of
That
Cthulhu
works.
for everything.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu totally works.
And then
for
if you want to be like an outsider, you just give them spells that make you
Yep.
an outsider. Easy peasy. So, where am I trying to? Oh yeah, so like they have like very simple robots in Dishonored, and if you play Dishonored 2, they have a little bit more advanced robots.
Yeah, tall boys and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so like I think that's where they're kind of going. So we can go. I don't want to go tripping into steampunk because I hate steampunk. I'm gonna be full disclosure. I do not like steampunk most of the time. Like I think it's.
Well, Dishonored is whale punk. It's a little
Yeah, you're whale.
It's
I mean, it is. Yeah, gaslight. Yeah, it's. But yeah, that's a good sort of idea. Just like, do we have robots? Like, do we have like? Because the first robot was invented in like 1900 or something like that.
Well, yeah. Anytime you ever
Robot.
made a difference engine or like a punch card system, you've made a robot officially. Like a machine that runs on commands. They
On a
don't have to be-
program. You
Yeah.
know.
That's fair. I think that's definitely a thing that probably exists. It's probably like very primitive machines or like like automata. It's probably for like the big stuff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I can see like loader bots and things like that being a thing.
And like
Loader bots, like from
even in like the file we
Not
have.
not,
yeah,
not from Borderlands.
I was gonna say like from Borderlands.
Not those kind of loader bots.
Well, like you mean like living cranes essentially. Oh,
Ooh,
Amber just rated me with a party of 13. What's up, Amber?
Ooh.
Hello,
It's
hello.
an
welcome
Amber.
in. It's an Amber alert.
Oh,
Eli, thanks for the
no.
follow.
we have better material. Please stay.
Thank you for the follow, Eli. Much love.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Hell yeah, welcome
Thank
in,
you.
folks. We're talking about robots.
Yeah.
And we're wearing an inordinate number of hats.
Well, some of us. Oh, I need to put Elise's hat back on.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to ignore that. Hey, Ghost of Feely, nice to see you. Loving that emote. It's so good.
There you go.
So pure.
Folks watching the stream, you can see I just put a hat back on Elise. Sorry about the neck pain. It's a pretty heavy hat. But you know the classic saying, heavy is the hat. So there's
Heavy is the head that wears the hat.
heavy is the hat that wears the head.
Clearly, yes.
Wow.
Profound.
I'm glad an ad just ran. Hats
Oh
on
my God.
hats. Yeah. So we're talking about robots here, like I was saying.
Actually, still touching that robot up.
So what are we thinking? Like, what kind of? Or do we have like war machines? Do we have like, I don't know, what's that fucking movie that Omni quotes all the time? Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines. I don't think we have like we might have big city style Mortal Engine things, especially since we had like talked about that in one of the prior episodes. That community that invented the Geode engine, and they have like those giant trains of like diesel engines that sort of do their thing. We might have that kind of thing. As far as like mechs and that sort of thing, like the design that I have in there, I'm still refining it a bit, but it's getting a little bit better. I feel like that is probably as advanced as mechs go. Like I'm calling them wire mechs for now, or amblers, and like just because the whole idea of it is it's basically just an up-antied marionette. Like I don't think we'd have like servos or actuators yet, or electrically driven systems quite yet.
Sure.
I think the best thing we can hope for is mechanical actuation with like the geodrive just giving it like an inordinate amount of power or torque. So I think like human powered mech is possible, but like I'm not even sure they've weaponized it fully yet. I think that's one of those things that's only become possible with the Geode engine, and given the way the setting is going, I'm not sure many of the inventors of the Geo engines are interested in making these things into weapons.
Yeah.
Probably weaponizable, obviously, but I'm not sure that's the intent.
Amber, thank
So,
you for
may-
continuing your sub. Much love.
Just love you guys.
Maybe some organizations, the ones who aren't so interested in peace, are developing weaponized versions of this technology in secret.
God, I can practically hear Red grinning. I love that.
I like
That's right.
weapons. I like war. I like horrible conflict.
Things are going so well. Let us kick it back into war.
Yeah.
Let's draw a route that'll put some hair on our chest.
Oh,
Well, okay.
Bomb 'em.
So, I mean, are there mechanized uses though? Like maybe not mechs, but mechanized uses for this technology and other smaller things. So maybe navigation is something
Oh.
that
Yeah.
like mechanized, like gyroscopic navigation or astroglaives, those kind of things. How is that? Ship travel is that a thing? And if so, like what kind of advanced navigation are they using in those kind of settings?
Okay, yeah, I like your train of thought because I can immediately imagine like a ship's or like a captain's whatever the fuck, a deck. There's like
A captain's deck.
a captain's
Yes.
deck, yes. Like I know things about ships. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. So instead of like using a compass, they'd just be like they'd have the wheel, and then they'd have like somebody like the navigator would be handling the astrolabe. Like then the thing automatically spins, but they need to
Yeah.
like calibrate it and stuff like that. That's a really
Yeah.
cool. That's really cool imagery. See, I like nautical stuff because nautical stuff is like it's where technology sort of like flows off from the mainland into the water, and it just but so much shit is invented for nautical that is repurposed for things on land. Like I just think it's so interesting. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
nerding out. I like nautical shit.
That's great.
I've made battle maps of ships and I love them. I mean, if nautical nonsense be something you would, why are you quoting the SpongeBob SquarePants intro?
The real question is, why aren't we quoting SpongeBob SquarePants? Right?
Because Elise never saw it.
I'm so sorry.
Don't everybody stop and look at me. God damn it.
Rip.
It's all right. It's all
Rip.
right.
Just
It
rip the homie.
just means we know what we're doing the next day we have off. I have the entire collection of season 1 SpongeBob ready to go.
Season one's genuinely funny. Like it's still funny.
Yeah, no, it's legit. It's actually hilarious.
A lot of good
and
meta humor. Anyway, we're not here to
raunchy at times, too.
we're not here to talk about SpongeBob. We're here to talk about robots.
We're always here to talk about SpongeBob, but robots are good too.
No, but like I also think of robots like did you guys play Dishonored 2? I know a lot of people didn't play Dishonored 2.
Yes.
So
I've seen enough of it.
you know the robots in that Inventors like big palace thingy. I don't know if that's
Yes.
Sokol. Was that that's not Sokolov. Sokolov was
No, it
kidnapped.
wasn't
But yeah,
Sokolov.
Sokolov was kidnapped and taken there. They have like these. If you've ever seen like these old school instruments where they like literally feed in like a sheet of metal that has like punch cards in it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of how the robots would work, and you'd have somebody coming around every now and then to like
There's
replace
programmed
them.
like that's how the things are programmed, right? Like
Yeah.
and maybe there are probably people who specialize themselves in writing those programs in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
And are they punch cards, or are they perhaps like lay infused inks that are used on paper or something like that?
I think like just base punch cards is a cool idea.
It works.
Because like, yeah, it works good. Like I like the idea of the ley energy, or like, God, even I'm saying now. I like the idea of ley lines being like super super useful for energy, but the technology to like use it in other more diverse ways just doesn't
That's fair.
exist yet. So it'll probably be a while before we get to that point. Where
Yeah.
we can use ley line energy to create lasers and like all sorts of crazy stuff. That might be like the bleeding edge in some like tinkerer's room. Like I kind of get like the idea of like Percival from Critical Role, where it's like technically there's black powder, but like there's really only one guy on the planet who's actually using it to weaponize things. Like everyone else is like, oh, it's great for blowing out minds, and he's like, what if I could blow out brains? That's a great implementation
Well, like-
of this technology.
See, the thing is with like that just seems I'm not a fan of Critical Role. That doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just that I don't know anything about it. But that whole idea, just like, we got to keep in mind, like, yeah, this is a fantasy world, but like the whole idea of black powder being invented was for two things: fireworks, and fireworks being made into weapons to use against people, which was made by the Chinese, or originally made by the Chinese. They literally had firework rocket things that they would shoot at their enemies and they would explode. So like that, the original invention of black powder was to blow up your enemy. So why? It's a fantasy world, right? But
it's also because literally it was because they originally played in Pathfinder, which had a gunslinger class, and they didn't have one in D&D, so they were inventing one. So that was their excuse to say they have that.
That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah, they were like, why would this fantasy setting that's never had it before happen? They're like, literally something from outside this world inspired this kid to make a gun. Okay, that's fair.
I want to make gun. I want to ruin world with firearm.
I mean, they've kept it in every other season afterward. Anyway, let's not turn this into endless talking about Critical Role.
I don't know anything about it, so please.
Exactly, it won't happen that way.
Trying to think of other, like, see, there's not a lot of settings quite like Dishonored in that regard, where they like have that sort of whale punk. Oh, Danny just raided me with the party of left. Man, I'm getting raided all left and right tonight. Thank you. Welcome in, Danny. Much love to you. Welcome in, Raiders. We're talking about robots still.
Yeah.
Raid.
Hello there.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the raid. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, Jen Gad. Welcome in. Welcome in.
So awesome. Love you guys. Thank you.
So, I don't know. I think we've kind of like run dry on robots. Like I'm trying to think what else we could do with them.
I think we beat robots into the ground. I think we can carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do we have another prompt?
we could take a prompt from the audience, or we could just take one of the ones we didn't quite get to yet.
That's fair. For once, actually do that.
Oh no. Let's see here.
What ones didn't we get to? We did get Garbage Allies.
Yes, Garbage Allies is good.
We somehow salvaged that one.
You salvaged it. I was gonna do something horrible instead. Let's see. Cities.
I was trying to make it a pun, but okay, yeah.
No.
Salvage, garbage.
You're so funny. Anyway,
Thank you. You fed my ego finally. I can be quiet now.
Wow.
thank God. So, no, I'm kidding. Cities. I think it's cities, discipline,
Dad.
agnostic, and perennial.
All are really cool. So this world building is going to be pretty interesting no matter what we choose. What do you guys want to run with? That could work either way.
Yeah.
As we build this new season's worth of content for you guys to
We could-
explore and see.
I think we could jam together maybe like discipline in cities and like see what happens there.
Oh, I like
might be
that,
kind of
actually.
interesting.
So,
That's an interesting pair.
I agree.
I'm already thinking of like the overflow of like pseudo overpopulation of soldiers being home when they previously were not home.
oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
For the viewers,
yeah.
at home, Writer's Block is a show where we do improvised world building based upon one-word prompts that each of us bring. So yeah, welcome in. If you like this sort of thing, consider dropping a follow. And if you have a little bit of extra scratch, a sub is greatly appreciated. But discipline
Likewise,
is
you can see the results of our last season with the AS Caltrop Core, which contains a lot of lore, and we're probably going to make something else for that too. But yeah,
advertising. Anyway,
it's mostly free, so if only it wasn't.
indeed.
But so this idea of, as you said, like pseudo overpopulation, and a lot of I remember, like this is obviously something from our own history, but what does it look like whenever people come home from war and those who were doing the jobs there while they were gone now, are they expected to give up the jobs that were there? Are they expected to kind of, like in World War II, it was like the idea of like, well, now we're shipping you back to the kitchen because that's where you belong now. Even though you've kept everything running, while
You literally ran
better.
factories and did all of these blue collar jobs, and it's just like, oh well, come back home. Can't wait for chauvinism to take over once more.
right.
Now that the men are home, we can be mean to the women again. It's just like, what the fuck?
Right.
What sense does that make? Like, but it happened.
Yeah,
It happened everywhere. It happened in Britain. It happened in Europe. It happened in the United States, mostly in the United States, most notably in the United States. But Yeah,
But what does that look like after, so this idea of I had that concept of discipline, but like, is there re-education programs that are happening now that people are home in these cities, right?
Sure. I mean, there would have to be, because otherwise you'd have a bunch of people that don't have any sort of particular skill other than just being.
Their entire skill is shooting people. Or whatever.
Yeah, so they'd be police officers, and we all know how that went. Anyway,
For the record, chat, trying to make a noble, bright setting here. So believe it or not, we're trying to steer this.
see, this whole thing is my guest fighting against me as I try to make the most depressing and sad setting possible. It's actually pretty
I literally
fun.
had to salvage the words "garbage allies" earlier. So
like Italy.
Yeah, from that.
Or Canada. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Canadians.
I love you, Canada. I might actually move to you one day. We'll see.
Oh, Canada. Isn't that your national anthem? That's pretty cool.
It is pretty awesome song.
No, it's not. Let's see. National anthems are indoctrination. Let's
Show us the Pledge of Allegiance.
Exactly. I'm not even arguing that.
American admits to it.
I pledge allegiance to a literal object.
But yeah, no,
I just pissed a lot of people off, so.
trying to salvage this. So
that's your job.
So we have the idea of re-education. So like,
okay, so sorry, this concept of cities, right? Like, I'm now starting to think, okay, overpopulation, cities, re-education. Are nations building cities entirely with the purpose of like, this is your new start? You come back and you go to this new city that they're propping up, and the entirety of the city is being built essentially for the people who are coming home from war. You take your family, they give you a grant to move there, they guarantee you a job.
This kind of thing actually happened.
It did, and that's kind of where I'm trying.
There was in World War One, we had something called Hoovervilles, post World War One. So like a bunch of Americans were just like dirt poor. So in the cities, they had these like built up. They were literally just ghettos. Like they literally just built these things out of like leftover metal and wood and stuff that they had from like projects from other places. But this is where the poorest of the poor went, and a lot of those poorest of the poor were World War One veterans. So like they were called Hoovervilles. If you're interested in learning more about Hoovervilles, I'd highly suggest looking it up, because it gives you a good insight into how fucked up the Great Depression was, because that's just another chunk of it, so.
But yeah, if they're coming back, maybe they, if we're steering this towards noble, right, these are the cities of tomorrow. These are the they're being built with the latest technologies, and you're guaranteed a job if you move there, and you're guaranteed on job training and so on. So you get former soldiers showing up at tailors and learning how to sew, that kind of thing, right? Like,
yeah,
literally, like if Epcot wasn't turned into a like the original Epcot idea was the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. So imagining, hey Odysseus, like that, this is actually the experimental prototype communities of tomorrow are shooting up everywhere, and they're both test beds for new technology and places for new societies to literally spring up and hopefully actually be like a positive influence. I like that, actually. I was hoping we could aim in that direction, so thank you for taking it that way.
Yeah. But that's I think there's cultures that develop in that sort of thing too, right? Like, because it's such a different concept than the other places, the old cities of pre-war or during war, I guess, since it's been so long. But what kind of new cultural touchstones are created whenever a society has kind of the old world's taken out from under them and a new world placed in front of them that is totally devoid of the historical touchstones that were present in the cities that were around before. So what does a new culture develop like in that place? I think that's a lot of exploration.
That's a really, because like the first thing I think of is New York City, right? Because like New York City is like, if you think of anywhere in the United States being like the biggest mixing pot, it's New York City, like 9 times out of 10. So you have all these immigrants coming over trying to. I already took my hat off. You got to keep yours on. You had posture check. Thank you, Naris. You had the Jewish, you had the Chinese, you have Russians, which are also sort of tied in with the Jews. You have Italians. You have all these people fleeing from their home countries because of conflict, coming here So now they're having to reintegrate it to the soldiers, or with the soldiers that they were fighting against initially and stuff like that. So there's that there's that conflict of like social problem. You have all these different cultures clashing together, and we don't even need to say they're clashing. It's more so they're mixing together in the way that we have Little Italy and Chinatown and stuff like that in New York City, and even like Little India now is a thing. You know, all these different cultures are just getting sort of just bred together, and it's a really beautiful thing. You know, it's not.
You know, and similar to that is, you know, in these new places, are there cultural fusions that are happening? Things like Hell's Kitchen, where you're getting these,
Yeah.
like food and so on, is having like a renaissance of fusion that's coming together in a place like that. And I'm sure that there could be new, music developing. Maybe there's a new genre that is heavily focused on energetic, woodwinds or brass instruments, and we call it ska. No.
I mean, like
What a segue! Holy
right?
shit!
Naris, have a good night. Thank you so much for the posture check and everything. It's good to have you as always.
Good night, Naris.
Night.
See you next.
Thanks, Scott.
I mean, that's perfectly fair. Like, the idea of, like, all these cultural blendings going on in these cities is a super interesting idea. And, like, the contrast, like, yeah, these folks coming back home to places that might even be. Especially since it's now this nice, like, this pleasant new golden age where people are freely traveling between nations or more freely than they were during the conflict. And that they really might have to be integrating back with these people who they were literally fighting against. And coming to terms with, like, oh, I might have participated in a war that existed for literally no reason besides just gas, which we don't need anymore. How do I, like, say hi to the dude down the street when I may have bayoneted his kid for fuel we don't need anymore?
Well, let me add my
Noble Bright.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well, let me add my dark twist to this.
It wasn't dark enough.
No, it's fine. So, any of you ever
He's
heard
like
of?
bayoneting kids? We can go dark.
We can get worse. Y'all ever heard of Man in the High Castle?
Oh, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just straight up.
It's if the Axis powers had won World War II.
Yes.
So the United States was separated into chunks. So like the eastern and like central side of the United States and southern is controlled by Nazis or Nazi Germany, and the west side, which is like I'd say anywhere from like Nevada to the west, like to the California, is controlled by imperialist Japan. So it's a force.
There's a big old fucked up neutral zone in the center.
Yep, because it's nuked to shits, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there's
Parts of it, yeah, like Colorado Springs was okay, weirdly enough, but
that's Philip K. Dick, isn't it? I think I have the book on my shelf.
yes,
Okay,
it is.
I was gonna
Philip K.
say,
Dick.
I couldn't remember. He's really good at making messed up settings. He also wrote, I believe he wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep as well.
He did.
He's very good at coming up with dystopian stuff that we call cyberpunk now. Where was I going with that? So like, there's like a forced mixture of culture in that sort of sense. It's like Japanese culture is being forced upon American West Coast culture. If you can call California's culture, I've seen yogurt with more culture than California. But
why did you take that dig? Why did we do it? We didn't need to go that hard to California. Oh my god. Anyway,
but no, you get the idea. Just like, well, California has a lot of.
What about the white people fitness culture in California?
Well, yeah, the white people
Right.
fitness culture. You know, yeah.
Which is exclusively
okay.
stealing things from other other cultural backgrounds.
Well, no, I mean, people don't think about it, but California is definitely very, very Hispanic as well, because it connects right to Mexico. So there's a lot of Hispanic influence there too, more on the southern side.
Los Angeles is 48% Hispanic.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, there you go. It's a prime example if I were not all white, you know. But the thing I was getting at with the Man in the High Castle is just like there is a forced mixture of cultures. The Japanese are just like, oh, we basically just own you now, California. So just like your culture is gonna be like shit out. That's kind of I don't know. That's also what China did, you know, during the Great Leap Forward. I think that's what's called, Great Leap Forward.
yeah.
So like just like this destruction of old and with the new. It's like a forceful sort of push. It's what Alexander II of Russia did too. It's just sort of just like we need to abandon these cultures because they're harmful, quote unquote, by destroying them, which is harmful. But
Right.
it's that sort of thing. And I imagine there's stuff like this in that setting, or in this setting. Felt like home when I went to do my master degree in California. You
There
felt
you go.
like home? Well, yeah, there you go. Odysseus is from Mexico, by the way. That's why he says that.
Oh my
Oh.
God, why?
Yeah. What do you mean why? I'm not. That's not a jab. I'm serious. They're talking.
Oh, okay.
You're saying that he went to California to get his master's, and he said he felt at home. He's from
Oh, okay,
Mexico, so what he's saying is there's a high Hispanic population.
I love that. You're like, why would you take that? What? That he's from where he's from? Like, what?
Fair.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
Omni's from Florida. See, saying
Yeah.
Omni's from Florida, that's an insult. Saying you're from Mexico, no, it's fine. But if you're from
I don't
Florida, that's an
know.
insult.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Being from Texas is pretty bad.
yeah, aren't you a
too.
Texan? Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Unfortunately.
it's just sort of a jab. Well, Matt,
Not by my own choice, okay?
Matt, are you Pennsylvanian?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't know anything about Pennsylvania, to be quite honest.
Here's
Like,
why.
we-
Red,
we
you have me
got
on
a lot of
high alert.
options.
You have me on high alert because every time we mention another state, I feel like you get your boxing gloves out, and it makes me worried.
oh
I'm
yeah,
genuinely
I got a
worried.
fight. No, Pennsylvania's got nothing. I got no beef with Pennsylvania. Texas, no. Florida,
Dude, everyone has a beef with Florida.
Kansas,
Florida.
Kansas.
I say
Oh
that as a
yeah.
Floridian.
No, Kansas. I don't even care if Nathan's not here. I hate Kansas. Worst,
Oh my God.
worst state. Period.
Getting away from this, like, we can't put you in a ring with Kansas, so we're not going to. I like.
That's
your
all right.
idea of
That's all right. Kansas is always flat on their back anyway. You ever been there?
Oh my God! Okay, so I like you. I like your idea. I'm trying so desperately to keep us on track.
Yes.
Trying so
Go
hard.
ahead. Go ahead. I encourage you.
God knows Nick can't do it. Save his life.
What Kansas has? Let's see. Corn.
Oh my God, we are.
Why are we on Kansas?
Okay,
That-
so there's
Go with it.
new musical genres are forming. Maybe those are being formed with
Like
some
ska.
of these, yes. But
Well,
dance
ska is a good
another
example,
thing that could absolutely be, forming into new. And I think that, perhaps a lot of these folks who, maybe were off in war-torn areas, learned things, so on, brought maybe, some echoes of other cultures back too, and then we get even more of a mixing pot that just kind of builds off of that. I'm wondering if there is a part of this where it's almost like bastardization of other cultures too, though, where you get people doing their own interpretations of holidays or practices of other things that they maybe experienced,
Like
and then-
Christianity and Christmas.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Oh, also,
stealing
Matt,
all the pagan holidays. It just
While shitting on pagans. I mean, like,
Yes.
it makes sense, right? It's just like, fuck yours. We have this, but we have like, we're calling it Christ Mass. It's genius. They'll never know.
Also, Matt, by the way, you can take off one of your hats. We got a thing. So yes, free your head.
Goodbye
All
to
right.
Lisa's hat. Rip.
No, I like that a lot. Also, I wanted to float something quickly with you
Please.
guys, since we did bring up like what's the
Yes,
word?
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah. Odysseus said
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo. See,
Oh my God.
is Cinco de Mayo even a thing in Mexico? Because like I'm like, or like how much of a thing is it rather? I know it's a thing, but it's more of an American holiday, the same way that we have St. Patrick's Day. It's just a bastardization of Irish culture.
Oh, yeah, it's two totally different things, which are huge. Like,
Well, they're not. Yeah, they're different.
yeah.
Obviously,
Up here, we're
but,
like, let's get margaritas. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
yeah, I had a friend who literally they just called it Cinco de Drinko, which is
Yeah.
not like.
It's
So
just
fucked.
it's just sensationalizing other cultures. Is all.
Well,
it is.
Cinco de Mayo is the
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's literally like it's the cultural equivalent, or at least the holiday equivalent of your nation taking off whatever hat it normally wears and putting on a Mexican sombrero. And saying,
It's like in Pride Month when all the companies make their logos rainbow to sell more stuff to the gays.
I say that
The
as, I say that
gays.
as a pan person. Yes, like that is a thing.
I like the gays.
But yeah, no. So
I am of the gay. That's what
I am also the gay.
so
no.
They're ever.
My thing I wanted to float by you guys, since we did bring up like this world doesn't have a name. I spent a little time looking through hundreds of different names, and I might have found one. I'm running it by you guys to see if you like it. PAX.
Like the convention?
Like the word for peace.
No.
Which is literally Latin for peace.
I don't
But
like
you
that.
know, sure, PAX. Yes.
Well,
it's
I mean,
electronics,
it's not. Well, yeah, look, he's got a pass. Get fucked, Omni.
Yeah, this is
Checkmate.
from PAX.
I need to keep a point counter from now on. Every time I diss Omni, I'm like, I'm right about it.
I like the name, but like specifically for like SEO purposes, for like making this game, whatever, that's not gonna work well because if anybody tries to like find packs, they're just gonna find the convention.
I don't know. How about
Yeah. I mean, we're looking for unearthed, not packs.
I'm trying to think of
Pack
something
unearthed
more
in the
like
setting.
I want to go something less like, because pack sounds really like technical and harsh. Maybe something more like a feminine sounding, like a feminine in like the romantic language sense. So like para, a peran, or something like that. You know, just like something
Yeah.
light. You know,
All right, that's fair.
because the name of a setting entirely sells the setting. Because it's just like AS. It's just like, oh, you immediately know that this is going to be like a weird sort of like sci-fi weird setting.
Right.
But
I like a para. I think a para is pretty.
Opera or just para like P?
A para.
Opera like ape.
A-P-E-R-A.
Okay, a pair it is.
Para.
A pair of
sure,
what?
yeah.
A pair of underwear?
And that right there.
And now it's crap. We have to start over.
No, it's good. Oh no, a para. Wait. Did you say E-R-A or A-R-A? Actually, I like a para. A para is good.
It works.
Well, I was gonna make a show called Up My AS, but I like sided against it.
God, I'm so glad.
Oh.
We didn't do that. I still like the idea of keeping unearthed as the name of the setting, but this is the world name. Like, it's the name of the planet.
Well, a para, yeah.
Because-
I like a
'Cause I
para.
think unearthed is solid. I think that's
Unearth's a good name. Well, yeah, because it's just like a lot of stuff's like, Unearth's like a. Sorry, that's like a
It literally
philosophical
sells
sort of
the
thing.
project.
Yeah.
Um,
Apara is the name of the world, so it shall be. We only had to come up with that on episode 2. That's fine. Still better off than the last season.
Also, nice DM, Derek. Good to hear.
Students
hear.
did great. No one got below an 80. That's just because you're a good teacher, man.
Yeah, if they're making good grades, that means you're a good teacher.
That or you just gave them the study guide like an hour before the test, which also makes you a good teacher. So we got
Because
enterprise cult.
standardized testing is stupid.
I love answering C.
It makes me feel bad that I actually didn't mind taking standardized tests, but that's probably just my like gifted kid talking.
Gift. Oh, look at you, gifted kid.
Yeah, we're the kids that got most disabused anyway. So
Well, I was also a gifted kid. Look at me now. I'm on Twitch. Anyway, so let's.
Ouch.
Anyway.
Before we isolate even more of our viewers, I don't think we can possibly be dunking any harder on them.
Well, I'm dunking on you mostly. Let's see here. So we need to do agnostic and perennial. How do we combine agnostic and perennial? You guys did this. We were left with agnostic and perennial. How do we combine those?
It's better than perennial garbage.
Perennial garbage would be funny. Perennial garbage.
Okay,
Agnostic.
no, this is actually pretty easy, right? So the concept of agnosticism is questioning. So
Oh, yeah.
the perennial kind of values that are being passed down is the new generation questioning how valuable any of those are.
I like that.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
cultural renaissance too, in a way. Like
In
where
some ways,
everything's
yeah.
up for grabs.
Yeah, and does that, like, what kind of tension does that cause between an older generation and a younger generation at this point? So we see that playing out in our own world, but that's because, like, that's a constant conflict. And I think in this setting where a major event has happened and things have changed so heavily, that would be even more apparent. Those who were around after it, well, you didn't know what it was like back then,
Yeah.
and
That's that
the younger's like,
classic.
that doesn't excuse what you did, or how you were. And it's like,
Didn't
well,
you
you
like
didn't.
blow up France? Like,
Yeah. Well, that's just making me think of the culture shift in the Roaring Twenties to like human rights, the rise of atheism.
the rise of women, or the renewal of women's suffrage, and
Egalitarianism.
Gay rights emerging again. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Progressive, cool things.
Yeah.
Until we hit, yeah.
They got swept under the rug for World War II and totally regressive. But anyway, that's not.
Well,
Maybe there will be another one here.
War tends to regress culture, but it pushes forward technology. Isn't that a weird thing? It's a push and pull.
Well, yeah, that's how it tends to be. Like, and it's because they serve two different functions. It's the thing we talked a little bit about last season of this, where it's like you have the difference between deconstructing a concept and constructing a concept. And if you ever want to see the most extreme versions of that in anything ever, it is literally the last two episodes of Star Wars, not Boba Fett. The movies are
Boba Fett.
literally like Rise of the. It's literally the Last Jedi is deconstructing everything of Star Wars down to its most basic level, and then on the other side, what's it again? It's Skywalker, Rise of the Skywalker is literally them desperately trying to construct everything up again. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys what you think of your opinions.
Odysseus actually gave us explanation behind. He said 5-day Mayo is a thing in Mexico. It's a day off work in Mexico to commemorate that we won a battle against France, which was which I got addicted to saying it, which was the most powerful country in the world during that time. And 5th of May in the Battle of Puebla, sorry. Spoiler alert, we lost the war against them. Then Napoleon III named his cousin Maximilian from Hamburg as Emperor of Mexico. Oh.
Yes.
Emperor.
Yes, the famous Mexican Emperor Maximilian of Hamburg.
Oh my god.
Oh yes, I'm the Emperor of Mexico.
Right.
Wow.
Goddamn white people.
I love white people. They're the best. How can we destroy culture? Today I will destroy culture. Today I will appropriate. No, but like, no, that's a good example. It's just like most people don't even know what the fuck St. Patty's Day is about. Because it's just like, that's the Green Day. It's
we drink green beer. That's what we do.
We piss green for the next 2 days. It's just like, that's good. I do like Shamrock Shakes, though. I won't even deny that.
Yeah, I think that, the combination of agnosticism and perennial, that's pretty obvious. I think that there is maybe a cultural conflict between old and young, those that were around before and those who are not. And, this could tie back into this concept of these new cities popping up, like, and maybe it's the youth that's driving these new cultures much more so than, the older people who are just like, well, I'm going to go here and I'm going to work and this is going to be my new post-war life. But the youth that are being born in those areas and coming up in it are probably a very different culture.
And then you have the dynamic of how many folks of the old guard are interested in learning and actually growing with that culture. It's like the millennial Gen Z effect versus like the boomer and Gen X effect, where it's like boomers and Gen Xers, despite being culturally closer than most, have literally they choose to have nothing in common by the archetype. And then you have millennials and Gen Zs, which basically millennials are like, we will literally die for this generation because we got our ass beat and we don't want them to go through it. At least, again, talking broad brush here. So, is it cultural? Is it like, are there some members of the communities or these elder communities that are allying themselves trying to protect these young kids? Like, you know what? These kids they might have a lot of naivete. They might have a lot of not really knowing how the world works, but maybe it's a good thing considering we kind of messed up the planet for literally over 100 years prior. Maybe we should let them do things totally devoid of what we know as the way the world works.
Yeah.
And the other folks that are like, but what if, we need someone with that world weariness? Maybe they need to be taught a lesson. That'd be an interesting dynamic, I think.
So we're sort of building a city here. This is sort of our Waterdeep. This is our New York City, that sort of thing. It's just like the melting pot.
Republic City from Katara.
Yeah, Coruscant, big.
Called it an Avatar. Coruscant. Anyway, sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
That's a French dish.
Did I say Katara? I'm sorry. You guys know what I'm tired.
Katara? What are you talking about?
It's 11 o'clock. I'm sorry.
What is Katara? What are you talking about?
No, I was trying to talk about. Yeah, I was trying to say Legend of Korra, and I said Katara because I'm spacey as fuck right now.
Are you like me, where your brain shuts down at midnight?
No.
Don't feed her after midnight.
You're all like me because I'm 30, and that's how it be. I'm 33. My brain shut down a long time ago. I don't know how I'm
Hey,
supposed
same here.
to- Hey, high five.
Yeah, I'm
high
20. Let's go.
five.
My knees crack when I stand up.
I hurt when I try to do things that I used to take for granted.
Yeah.
Uh,
I walked down to the mailbox the other day and my hip hurt for some reason.
oh god, yeah, that's my favorite game to play as a 30-year-old is this just a daily pain or is this a sign of things to come?
Right.
Dorkbot 5000. Thank you for the follow. Great name, by the way.
Dude,
Dorkbot
it's so
5000. Much love to you.
That's
Love that
amazing.
game.
It's a good name.
So yeah, I like that. I like that little dynamic we've got going there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
so
young
is
v old. How does that go?
is this big city you're talking about in New York or like those kind of big cultural melting pot cities, is
Yeah.
the biggest one of them actually a new city, like one that was built post-war?
Yes. Yes, I think so. I think that would be the best, because like, such a great idea, man. Like the idea is just like these people feel like they don't have anywhere to go after they got home, because like all their jobs, all the stuff they used to do years ago is filled. So it's just like, well, we got to do something else. So it's like, fuck it, fellas, let's just go and build our own goddamn city with blackjack and hookers. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you got to do their own. I'm talking like I'm from the. They got to do their own thing.
You're still channeling that vibe from Bebop and the Big Easy just a little bit. It's a good thing.
I do so
And-
many Italian accents. Which is,
I think you can. I think if you do that, then you can almost like give it kind of a name that feels like it's purpose built, right? As opposed to something like, Hamford, right? Like these names that sound kind of old or whatever. I think you can almost give it like, is it? I don't know. Is it a modern sounding word, something like ambition or like Vision City or something like that?
I
see,
do like the idea of like a city named Ambition.
There's-
That literally sounds poetic.
I just finished Mafia 1 and Mafia 2, the definitive editions. The names of the cities in those games were Empire Bay and Lost Haven. And there's another one called New Bordeaux in the third game, but we don't talk about the third game. So
Oof.
I feel like both of those names like speak something. Like Empire Bay, it's just sort of like, it's like, okay, it's a city of empires, right, quote unquote. So like, in that regard, we could name it something in English, in our tongue. So I don't know, something that's like hopeful.
I was gonna say Newfoundland, and I was like, wait.
Newfoundland, that is a place in Canada.
Yeah, in Canada, and
Canada.
that just shows you how spacey I am right now.
Like
Old Foundland.
I like the vibe of it though. I like we could go with that.
I mean, what would you do? They're like, well, I'm thinking like a place like New Home, because like it's like their new home. It's like their new place of living. It's like this is their something start.
Go coins.
New start. I don't know. Fresh start. Fresh time.
Yeah, yes, fresh. God, no.
Let's see. God, that would have been. I almost suggested Genesis, and then I stopped myself because I realized that I both love Phil Collins too much, and also.
Yeah, well, it'll be a city of Max, and we'll call it Neon Genesis, and then it'll be like abridged Evangelion, right? So like,
all the ambers are painted purple and green. The green has to glow, or else it won't work.
what's up, bro?
I was about to say neo something, and that sounds a little bit like neo-Nazi, so I was like,
Oh wait.
Neo Tokyo.
Okay.
I'm like, oh god. So
How about New Dawn City?
I like that.
New Dawn.
Yeah, just abbreviated to New Dawn.
They probably call it. It's probably got lost in translation, so they call it Newton City. It's like how they call New Orleans now. It's just like, so
I do
New
like
Dawn City.
New Dawn City. I actually do. In the best way, it sounds like a Pokemon city. Like, it literally sounds like a Pokemon location.
I don't know what this
That's
Pokemon
good.
stuff is you're talking about.
I will literally slap
And you call yourself a nerd.
Well, yeah, but I see the thing is, I don't
Who
like.
are you?
I don't like Pokemon. Shoot me! Put me in a gun line and shoot me. I like
You know
magic.
what?
Okay,
No, it's fair. It's not for everyone. I'll be the first person to admit it. But
it's for
that
nerds
said, the one okay, you didn't need to go that far, but let's
and
go
geeks.
further anyway. I
Yeah,
will
All right,
literally kill you.
dorks.
Anyway,
gut punch me, why don't you?
you're getting to be actually violent.
No, go ahead, Poker Man.
This is awkward.
So,
I'm uncomfortable.
but yeah, no, I do. The reason why I like the fact that it sounds like a Pokemon location is because of the fact that every city in Pokemon is named after either a flower, a location, or a vague idea, and they're all positive. Because the whole idea is you want the setting to be non-threatening. And for kids, it works. But for adults, it makes it feel whimsical and uplifting. Like, even like the scariest, most messed up place in the whole setting, which is Lavender Town, which is literally just ghost shit city. Everything is dead or dying, and everything is a ghost, and it's the worst. And even the music is creepy. But Lavender Town, it sounds like you could put it in a bathtub and it would improve your day. So, like...
There's a lot of things you can put in the bathtub to improve your day.
So I like New Dawn City.
You know, I could
Ignore.
see, like, it even has the catchphrases built in, like, you know, Chase the Horizon and New Dawn City, like that kind of shit.
That's-
You
that's
know what I
nice.
mean?
That's
A
nice.
new dawn awaits you. In
Right.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, you know, yeah. Yep,
Like the
it
sun,
has that.
the sun is rising on a new dawn.
Oh, yeah, and you can see, like, you know, the central square that was purpose built for this has, like, you know, a building where the side of it is like a mural of the city with, like, you know, the sun rising above it and everything. Like,
And
you
then
can
there's
see
like
it.
another building that's like completely like the mirrors, the all the windows are reflective, and then there's like a giant sundial or like some sort of sculpture in the middle of the square.
And there's like
Some
billboards.
water feature, yeah.
They have like billboards near all of them, but they're not like the cool neon ones we're used to in like New York City. They're like the classic old ones where they have to literally take paper with glue and roll it up, and every day someone comes out of a new company there. And as like a matter of course, every day they buy out each other's like spots on the boards just to mess with each other, but they're all doing it in sequence. So it's just a bunch of guys out there every day putting up new posters over the old ones. Like, I love that kind of thing. That sounds really cool. I like this already.
I like Chase
New
the
Dawn is a
Horizon.
cool place.
Because it gives me Night City vibes from like Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Sort of just
It's
like
the opposite of Night City.
well, yeah, it's
like
just
this-
like
The literal opposite. Of
Night City's just like shitty and greasy all the way from the bottom to the top, and then like New Dawn is just like, oh, it's really nice, and then you realize that the people at the top
They're
are just kind of
actually trying
not
to build
great.
something nice here.
Well, yeah, but you know, there's still like the corruption of capitalism and human greed. Oh,
I do like the idea that that even brings us closer to like now we have a microcosm for where a setting for like a campaign could take place, because you and I already have like polar opposite factions building in a way. What if they literally coexist in the city? They're both industrial like conglomerates or corporations or something, and they're literally just like staring at each other from across to like, you know, like the stone, like the brick equivalent of high rises. Just like literally looking at across sort of like Nikola Tesla and Edison from different buildings in the same town. Like, yeah, I see you. Coming for you tomorrow.
trade offer. I receive your destruction. You receive nothing.
Well, I think that this whole this built city would make a very interesting mingling of architecture as well, and how buildings interact with each other.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's I already see it being a mixture of Art Deco and Art Nouveau.
Oh, 100%.
I'm also thinking like the way that since this is like a built city,
It's built different.
there's layers of the city, and I think even like, you know, we Nick and I think at some point we were talking about like I'm thinking of what was the wind powered earth modes, quote unquote.
So you're saying like floating parts of the city
Yeah.
exist? That's actually a thing in Ravnica, which is a Magic the Gathering setting. There's like floating towers and stuff like that, just like sort of.
Yeah.
I think Omni knows what I'm talking about. You know the
Yes.
wind power designs from like Castle in the Sky, where they
Yes,
have
100%.
like floating earth modes. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the same. It's the same sort of energy. It's like somewhere between Ravnica and Bioshock Infinite. It's in that same sort of ballpark. where
It's like
I just want.
arcade.
I'm just gonna request blimps because they're
Oh yeah,
cool.
Omni likes. Omni was talking. We were talking about blimps yesterday. He very much likes blimps. I might actually make a blimp in Blender sometime soon, just for fun.
That'd be super cool. I love the maybe that's where the businesses have their HQs.
The blimps.
Like, yeah, just I mean, like a Zeppelin literally is lighter than air, requires little maintenance, and can stay aloft.
And then you can look down on the people that you rule over.
100%. And like I'm being serious here because I'm thinking like the single best Wachowski siblings movie, which would be Speed Racer, and I will accept no other argument. But in it, literally the city is like dominated with like Zeppelins, and because in their setting they didn't have
Hindenburg.
the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
And so for them, their technology went from like blimp to like helicopter for fast moving things, and then from there they developed jets. But the jets never replaced the blimp, and so you have like this super futuristic, like bubblegum sci-fi city filled with blimps floating around casually. Like, and yeah, there's like business guys who just like sit on top of their blimps, just like, hey, let's talk about it. Let's have ourselves a deal. And you look down, and like it's just glass paneling below you beneath the city. And like that, I think is a cool image. I like that. At least one business leader has to be that pompous jerk who operates out of like a giant Zeppelin.
Oh, you don't have a fear of heights? Holy shit!
I mean,
I could see like he doesn't even. They don't even have. He doesn't even have like a building presence. He just goes around like landing at other places to like pick people up for meetings and shit.
It's like a floating penthouse. Like it's just like, oh man, that's cool.
I love the idea too. Like you said, like, oh, what about a fear of heights? I love the idea that that's the point. The point is when he invites people and he's like,
oh yeah, he
cuts desk. Let's talk business, and they have to walk over like 40 feet of tempered glass, separating them from a 500-foot fall to their death.
It does nothing to him. He's totally used to it and chill. It doesn't bother him whatsoever. But it puts people at like off.
Exactly. When they get to their side, they'll shake his hand to do literally anything just to get out of the room.
See, this is giving me so Bioshock
He gives
Infinite.
a lecture on the glass even during it.
God, yeah.
Do you want to know about the glass? Yeah.
Do you know what this glass represents? It represents the capitalism that's going to destroy your business empire.
He gives this speech 100 times, right? He hasn't practiced, but it's so unsettling every time he does.
This tempered glass.
E.P. Royalton.
Yes.
You made E.P. Royalton, and I'm totally down with it.
This tempered glass was fashioned over 3,000 hours, costing me $56 million. It is 12 inches thick and will not break even with the heaviest of steps, although there are problems with it.
Imperfections in the glass construction render it unknowable.
Even the slightest bubble could cause a
right.
Like, meanwhile, like behind the guy who's being terrified, there's like a maintenance crew who's just like, I'm not cleaning that fucking room. Just like
But there's a do you remember that scene from Infinite where you're like, it's sort of near the end of the game? If you haven't played the game, too bad. It's like 10 years old now.
I love Infinite so much.
It's such a great game. It's honestly, this is controversial. I think it's the best game in the series. But
no, I agree with that actually.
It's because of the world building.
I get down with that. Yep.
Yeah. I don't like 2. I'm gonna be honest. But there's that scene where you're sort of like looking at the like possible outcomes of the future, and then there's that one where Elizabeth's standing on a building with you, and there's like a war going on, and there's like big war balloons and skyscrapers. Yeah. That's what I imagine this city would sort of look like, just all these skyscrapers and blimps.
A less scuffed version of that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
if it actually went right.
Well, yeah.
Or more right, anyway. Noble bright.
No, noble bright. Yeah, my bad. Well, but yeah, it's like a positive version of that, right? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, a good version.
A good.
It's not war.
Like, the evil... That's the thing about Noble Bright. Noble Bright doesn't mean there's no evil. It doesn't mean there's no darkness. It means that it's probably going to lose. That's the goal. The goal here is to make a setting where it's not 80 billion... Like, it's not 80 billion clocks to midnight. It's 80 billion clocks to midday. And that's the trick.
Well,
that's what we're doing here.
I imagine New Dawn being a mixture of Columbia from Infinite and Rapture, like a mixture of the two. These men and women that came together to have this idealized sort of like society that they would want, but there's egos nonstop clashing that sort of like keep it from being
Right.
exactly perfect, but it's like it's probably the closest thing you can get to perfect, right? And this
Right.
world. But that also reminds me of the Big Empty from New Vegas.
That's fair. I see that.
I don't, did you get that one, Matt? Did that go over your head? No,
Nope.
you never played New Vegas?
Nope.
Mm.
Oh, dang.
Oh, controversial.
I don't like Fallout. I'm sorry.
No!
I know.
No, actually,
That's all right.
It's fine. I don't like Fallout very much either. But
Even if your opinion is wrong, I'll just accept it. You know.
I
Just like,
have
okay.
really tried. I tried New Vegas. I tried Fallout 3. I even tried the older games. I've done everything I can. I just don't enjoy it.
Well, if you don't like it, 4 and 76 certainly will not change your mind.
Wow. I played.
That's
Okay,
okay.
4 is the Fallout game I have played the least in the series. I like. Oh man. Hello, JJ. What's up? We're actually nearing the 3-hour 20-minute mark. So, do we want to like have any like last thoughts, or do we? I mean, I'm up for whatever. But Hal over here is it's getting close to her bedtime. I can tell.
I mean, I also too am getting the old tires. So
Indeed.
Hell, I might not even do that midnight show tonight. I might just say fuck it. But any last parting thoughts before we sort of do outro?
This was fun.
Yeah, this was really cool. I love I really like this New Dawn City. Like that feels like a nice, just like it feels good to have a place that you could be in the world.
Yeah,
That
because
feels like
feet on the ground. You know, it really makes a world feel lived in. Just like we do all these broad strokes, but like you need a city, right? You know.
yeah, and with this kind of city, there's a lot of play where you can say like, oh, it's a lot of new construction, and so like there are even maybe organized districts where like this is the industrial district. That's what it is, and it was city planned that way to be that way,
Yeah, absolutely. And then like I don't know, I just like the idea of like a free city, you know. Yeah, chase the horizon. Then people call it the city of faith, or like the city of renewed faith and stuff like that, or
Oh yeah,
the city.
they
of,
have that.
Yeah, city of
The
seeking.
City of Hope. Yeah.
The city of hope. Yeah, all those sorts of like the Big Apple, that kind of shit, right? But yeah.
Good.
Great session. We made it. We made a city. We had a lot of
Yeah.
great conversations.
I even managed to update the Ambler picture on the
Oh,
screen.
hell
I'm
yeah.
proud of you.
It's gross.
Did you plug that into the Google Doc?
Yep. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll have it.
Oh,
So- It's slightly getting cleaned up bit by bit.
hell yeah.
Woo!
It's like a baby carrier.
It's exactly what I wanted to go with. I wanted to think like, what if baby carrier, but slightly unnerving?
What if baby carrier? What a great. I never thought I'd
What
hear
if
that.
I were the baby Bjorn?
No, this is
What if
Boss
the
Baby.
Bjorn- what if the baby Bjorn gave me power?
This reminds me of the Eldar walkers that look really. You know the
war
walker,
walkers.
yeah, the old designs are the ones where like they're out in front, like unprotected.
Right. Like this is what I meant when I was talking earlier, and we were like, "What about weaponizing it?" And I'm like, I think it's possible, but I genuinely think, at least for Giacomoto, at least that company, the one that makes this, absolutely not on their. It's just not a thing they're working towards. And if you want to armor that, good luck. Like, good luck protecting that floating baby man in that
Floating
in that
baby
wire-
man.
in that like literal walking, like almost it's almost like
I feel like we could
literal-
call them cradles too. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Cradle would be a good
Cradle,
name for it.
Sampler,
Yeah.
the other one like a marionette, because it's literally like a marionette suit. It's powered by
Ooh.
string. So like all this is like, either way, point is like this thing ain't made for war. If you want to make it for war, okay, but like good luck.
I'm waiting for the ad to roll through, and then we can do outros and reintroductions rather.
Sick.
But folks, those of you that can still hear me, I was about to say, make sure you subscribe, but you're obviously subscribed, because you wouldn't be hearing me say this. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be live again at midnight 30, because this was we've sort of gotten we've set a precedent for this new writer's block. We used to just do 2 hours. 3 hours has been comfortable because like the last one we did was 3 hours. This one was 3 hours. I think we might just do like 2 to 3 hours now, just however much we feel like, however much the guests feel like. JJ said no ad squad. Yeah, welcome to the no ad squad.
Yeah.
Consider subscribing. But anyway, I'd like to everybody to reintroduce themselves because I believe that the ads are done. So Matt.
Yeah. I'm Matt from Abyssal Brews. We make elegant magic items and homebrew systems for your D&D 5e table. You can find us on pretty much any social media at Abyssal Brews, and most importantly, you can find us over on Patreon, where you can get weekly magic items delivered to you with full illustrations and all the formats you need for your table.
Absolutely, man. I just linked Matt's Twitter in the Twitch chat. You recently hit 8,000 followers, too. That's amazing,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that's really exciting. We're big, sorta.
We're big.
Big
We're
time.
big. We're bad. We're
It's just because the thing is, I don't know why this happens. Like I just like shit post and people.
because you make quality content. Also, like you make content that's relatable, and that's what people like on social media. Just like stuff
I
that's
think
relatable.
that's probably good. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I try not to like really get too excited about that kind of stuff, because I think the more important thing is that we just keep making. That's really where I'm focused on stuff. I just want to keep making stuff, because if we were to get too excited about it and rest on our laurels a bit too hard, I worry about where we'd end up.
Yeah, well, you're see, like since I started doing Twitter about, I want to say like August of last year, your content's only been getting better. So like, kudos to that. Like, because I can only imagine how easy it must be. Just like, well, a bunch of people follow us. I guess I could just put out crappy content and they'll still eat it up, right? Just like,
Yeah, I can't vibe with that. Neither can Fernando, because like he and I are both the type of people that just want to keep pushing for more.
you're healthy perfectionists. Like
Yeah.
you want to seek the best possible, and we obviously people appreciate that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have as big of a following as you have. So thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, love to be here.
And we'll have you on again very soon because you've been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I would love to be.
Guys, you're great.
All right, Elise, I'm gonna put your hat back on and go ahead and reintroduce yourself for the audience,
You
please.
took my hat away. How could you?
Well, because somebody said take the hat off. It's back on now.
Needs
So.
to be a proper bell. Oh.
Ravens.
Good heavens.
I do declare.
Well, I do declare you give me back my hat, son.
You got your hat.
Hi, friends. I'm Elise or Hal at Van Housing Art on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm a fantasy and sci-fi illustrator, and you can find me in my Discord, which is linked on my Twitter.
Oh, that was brief. Okay. I'll let me.
Wow.
Usually, I have time to look up your Discord or look up your Twitter while you're doing outro. Let me plug that in real quick. There is Elise's Twitter. She's not currently open for commissions, but stay tuned.
And if she does open for commissions, you should absolutely take advantage, because they're fucking good.
Yes, I get free commissions, but that's just me. So.
Oh my
god. I'm malicious. I bet you thought I forgot.
No, I feared you wouldn't. Hello, everyone. I am the last Omnitect, your favorite robot American, the creator of the Legacy Tabletop role-playing game project, thing 15 years in the making, actually now 16 years old, so hey. And I also am a world creator, writer, artist, dabbling a little bit of everything with the TTRPG sphere, including soon GMing my own game on my own channel very shortly of AES, the Caltrop core game, which me and Red both collaboratively made, and I edited and published. So we are... I have my thumbs in a lot of pies. You guys can find me on Twitch. I actually have all my things right here. I have Twitch, Twitter, and a Beacons, which has all of my different links on there, including a shop if you want to buy some of my sketches, some of my designs. And I'll be both here on Red's channel, on Chip on the Block, and of course, Writer's Block right here, as well as also Saturdays, I am on the evening stream with DM's games, usually playing either Ashwell or in Red's game of Ace the Mountain playing the Stoneworth. So yeah, you guys will see me around. And also, since you gave me that title, I have to introduce you, Red, by your full name, which is Redemption Bartholomew Avocado Sauce the Third.
That's true.
What do you got going on in your life?
Doxing me. Hi, I'm Red, the past tense of to read, and I have a Twitter page where I post all sorts of random. Don't shake your head at me. I post all sorts of random stuff. Obviously, here on Twitch, I do streams on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Hopefully, I'll be having more streams here in the future. Just trying to sort of like move around, like not. I'm trying not to take other people's slots for streaming and stuff like that. Also, while maintaining my sanity, but yeah, I usually have guests on here every single Thursday at 8 p.m. CST. Next week's guest will be Derek of DMDM Studios and Kendo of Kendo Makes Films. I am very excited to have both of them on. They're both very good friends of mine. One of them's a fellow Lancer, and one of them's a pilot. I'll let you figure that one out. Well, not a pilot, but you know what I mean. Anyway, fuck it. So, like I said, I'm Red. So if you want to see or like get commissions from me, I don't know why the hell you'd want anything from me, but other than my cool entertainment and my nice voice, I have a coffee, which is linked in my link tree, and I'll go ahead and post that. And from there, you can commission me to do any number of things. I do literally everything except for dance for your entertainment. So if you need anything and anything at all, I am your man for the most part. Writing, voiceover. I'm not very good at art yet. I'm gonna get better, and I'm also a map maker. So, yeah, that's my coffee. So, give me money.
I feel that.
Being honest, why wouldn't
Yep,
you say? Why
I
wouldn't
feel it.
Why wouldn't you say red like the color? Because I said that at the beginning of the show. I said I'm red, one of the
It was
primary
red.
colors. Yeah. Anyway, this has been this has been Riders Block episode 2, folks. Thank you very much for joining us, and stick around because we are going to be raiding somebody, and I will be taking suggestions for raids. So stick around. Much love to you, and as Omni says,
Keep writing.
hell yeah.